Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now,
Roger that.
and
Okay, well, I'm using.
we're back on. Everything should be go. Everybody's
Okay.
still in the chat. We good? I don't know. I don't
If
know.
he of
No.
1 minute ago.
I see that chat's disabled for this live stream.
Yeah, if I refresh the page, it's not gonna. It won't show the chat anymore. Oh, there it goes. No, it's working, mate.
Should
Oh,
be
is it
good.
working now?
All's good. All's
All's
good. Yeah.
good.
Okay.
It takes a while till all the different country servers
Yeah.
finally
Yeah.
work out what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, it's funny.
We got 12 straight away. Everyone's still there then. That's good.
So I think my microphone would be a little bit weak because I'm using the other mic.
You've gone really quiet, Paulie.
Now you went quiet. You were really good before.
How's that?
Now you're good.
That's better.
Yeet. Good stuff. Where am I? I'm trying to find us.
Testing.
Yeah, it's good if the mic right next to your mouth that's working.
Okay.
Random robot went and changed the setting on you, mate. Because your voice was fine.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. That's really strange.
Yeah, that was
So
weird.
on the show, Ty, have you guys talked about the different viewpoints world, which is funny to say, have been talking about? Like, there's some really heavy chatter on the Facebook groups that I'm monitoring about the Gleason model being of null effect.
I honestly,
I mean, I don't know if that's been brought up or not.
Yeah, it hasn't been brought up on this stream, and I really just don't. Who cares?
Okay, see, that's my.
You know what I mean?
That's
It's
my
like
viewpoint as well. I don't care.
We
Yeah,
aren't
doesn't
able.
matter.
We don't have the resources to map this thing.
We can build a rocket.
We can't do it for ourselves. Yeah, we can't do it for ourselves. We can't. What good does it do to argue about something that you can't definitively prove one way or the other? It's just one person's opinion against another person's opinion. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like how many hours do you want to like pit an opinion against an opinion? It feels like
it's true.
It just feels like noise. Who cares? The Earth is flat. You know, did you get the memo? It's flat. This is the big deal. This is the thing. Like, let's get everybody on board with that. And then maybe humanity will decide to invest the resources to actually map this thing. For real.
Yeah.
Until then,
honestly,
like, who the hell cares about the map?
Yeah. I honestly think it's been mapped. I really do think that the powers that be have done their time since Admiral Byrd and have figured it out.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to share that with us anytime soon.
They're not going to share it with us, and we don't have the data. And for us to bicker about it, it's just one person guessing over the next person guessing about what may or may not be the accurate map. And okay, so we're just supposed to like arbitrarily choose a side, or I mean, it just doesn't matter to me.
Because, I'm not choosing
because it's
sides
flat.
or joining a group. Because it's just flat. It's flat by itself. I don't need a group.
So I don't need to know. You know, if it's important to you to know the exact measurement of each landmass, like if that really gets your rocks hard, I don't know, go for it. But I don't give a damn.
Oh, you're awesome. I needed to hear that. That's funny.
So
that's pure truth there, right there.
All the energy.
If that gets your rocks hard, then go for it.
Just go for it.
That's wonderful. Yes.
We got bigger. We have bigger fish to fry. I mean, I think we need to just. We should set all the semantics aside and come together to push this thing forward to a place where we might actually be able to get the funding to actually know what the hell the land masses are in the map and the. It's frustrating to me. I mean, it just seems like a waste of energy. I hate to see wasted energy.
Oh.
I love cats. Hi.
This one keeps jumping on me.
These are all pussies.
Yep, they're all pussies.
Oh man, all men are pussies.
See.
I meant to get up and get a bong. That's a nice cat to look at, though. I like looking at that cat.
He's a pretty cat.
He's a lover. He really is. He worships me.
Like
I don't know of any other cat that's been such a worshiper of a human than this cat. He drools on me. He loves me so much.
Yeah. There are those cats. We have our next door neighbor's cat is like a dog. It like when their car their car pulls up and like the cat's like runs out to greet them and
sniffs
it like
the tires,
and it literally like it will go on walks with them and it actually does like handshake and like it does tricks for treats. Like what cat does this crap? It's almost undignified. I'm like, what?
Roll over, play dead. Another cat's looking at it going, "You dickhead!
What have you done? You don't get what being a cat is all about, man. You messed up.
You're a cat for God's sake." I think they've been attached to humans for so long, with the, it's like it goes back to ancient times when they were really wild, and they go back to being wild like that if you drop them in the bush.
Sure.
Yes.
And they grow 3 times larger, and they just turn into a completely different animal. Not nice puss at all.
Yeah, the common gene in domesticated cats is the actual wild cat. Eastern Asia, there's the Manul, but they get really big. Wild cats get big, and when they're bred or inbred, as it were, into these these things, they become, I don't know, a different being. But wildcats are just, I mean, since Egypt, really. They've been a specific, a thing with humans.
If you drop me out in the bush, I'd just curl in a ball and whimper, I think. I don't.
Yeah, we're talking about it the other night.
I don't think I'd be able to do much of anything.
Like, does saving the world mean I have to go out in the middle of the Simpson Desert and live under a rock with a bag of rice and a bottle of water?
Oh man!
And a stick.
I have a fantasy in my head of like I'd like to go out into the wilds and like fend for myself, but the reality of that is like I don't think it's really pretty.
I'll be right back.
I don't think I'd do too well. All right, man.
Well, I mean,
you've talked about, that's a. I don't think I really believe that. I actually think I'd acclimate to it really well. Truth be told.
Yeah.
I was just being I was just trying to be a comedian, I guess, but I have a really strong draw to do that. To just go out in the middle of nowhere and just
to prove to yourself.
Not even to prove, just because it would be a better way to exist.
Yeah.
Just because it would feel better. Oh. It would feel better and more natural to be out away from all of the nonsense, all the noise, and just like all I have to do is get the food for that day and like have my shelter, and like the rest of my time could be spent contemplating or writing or like I don't want to deal with all this nonsense.
You're making me moist.
Oh no!
I really, I
This
mean,
wasn't.
with
This
every
isn't
deep,
supposed to be a love affair. This is just a conversation.
oh, a love affair with the earth, you know? A love affair
Oh,
with
man.
nature. Oh, I just,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
okay. Have you ever watched the TV show Alone?
Mm.
They have these guys to drop them off, and they're supposed to just
It's like a
survive. You
reality
know,
TV show.
it's the
I
worst reality TV show because it's
okay.
actually real. The people are actually alone. They have to film themselves. They have to
Oh
get
no, I haven't
water,
seen it.
food, shelter. Yeah, it's actually probably one of the only TV shows I'll watch. Um, but they, you know, I taught survival to children when I worked at YMCA, and it's really basic, but it's the tediousness I think that would kill me. I would have to have a good book selection, and then I would have to have reams of paper and or a typewriter or a bunch of
Right.
pens. I don't know. I would have to create. You know?
Yeah. I think I
Yeah.
underestimate my addiction to uh, stimulus, entertainment.
Well, you're talking to a guy who spent the last 3 days playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
That's all I've done. The last
Yeah.
3 days, play one video game
I do that
from
shit
like
too. I
morning
mean,
till night.
I do that with my girlfriend sometimes. Like, it'll be and like typically at like a Dark Souls game or something, and they'll just be like, "We're gonna beat Dark Souls in the next like week," which is no easy feat. Anyone who's played a Dark Souls game knows that that's a commitment.
Yeah, is that the one with the necromancer?
Those games are
You're the
notoriously hard,
protagonist.
man. It's notoriously
Yeah.
hard and grueling. But
Yes.
I love the worlds that this guy creates. You know, just something about it that's so immersive. But yeah, I mean, I'm
Immersive.
so addicted to.
Yeah.
Oh god, we're so addicted to our stuff, man. The entertainment. It's like, would we really be able to? If like the
Yeah.
well,
You mean the mental molasses
if the
served up by
electricity
Hollywood
just went out
Empire?
for like 3 weeks, yeah, would we all go mad?
Well, besides the survival aspect, people wouldn't be prepared.
You know what?
Let's
about
just
escapism.
remove if
Yeah.
you could remove survival
You know-
from it. If like, let's just say
I reckon the first thing that would happen, Ty, is peace would break out. There'd be no defense against it. Peace and common
Peace has
sense.
erupted
everywhere.
across the nation.
It'd be chaos.
I just
But
don't.
there would be no news people to report this piece.
I think we would just. I think we
It
would
will not be
ultimately.
reported.
We'd ultimately wind up like out of just sheer boredom and panic from not having something to entertain us. We would actually go walk outside our doors
No,
and like
that's the thing.
interact with
It's still
people.
going to be a challenge.
We'd interact with our
still-
neighbors and be like, I'm dying of boredom. Can you just like entertain me for 2 seconds? Say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if
I
I
am-
get to know somebody, if my life will be more interesting.
Right?
Because my
Like-
computer's broken.
I'm actually part of a small blossoming group of people around the world who play board games, and it's really different. You play a board game with someone, you really get to know who they are. It's not Risk or Monopoly, but like
No, I
Settlers
get
of
that.
Catan.
Right.
Yeah,
A little bit more
something
involved.
very right, and you get to know who they are. You're like over a beer or a bong or whatever, what have you. You're talking with them, you're interacting with them, and it's so good. Board games, man. Throw away your controller, your what do you call it?
Yeah.
Console. Get
Yeah.
10 board games. It's so good.
I hear
I
you.
think yeah.
I don't want to leave my safe little
Anyway.
cave, man. Fuck you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And you know what? Hey, guess what?
No.
The Earth is flat too. So
I
yeah.
hate living
You know-
in this. I live in this constant contradiction of knowing exactly what I should do and doing the opposite. You know, I know what I should
Well,
do. I know what would be good for me. I know what would be healthy in terms of like breaking out of a cycle. But I continually choose the opposite path because it's so easy and it's so comfortable and it just feels good.
and everybody's doing it.
And everybody's doing it. Yeah.
And the commercials are all aimed at our pleasure cortex to trigger those responses that have been put in us since childhood, since Gilligan's Island, since everything that we saw, you know.
And this is why they ultimately don't give a shit that there are a number of us waking up the flat earth, because even the flat earthers are still in the same, we're still locked in the same patterns of engaging the entertainment, the screens. We're not going out and building community with other people. We're flat earth. So what? So I've seen through a certain level of deception. I'm still locked into this kind of isolating, powerless mode of existence. You know,
the isolating, powerless mode of existence.
I'm just being
the new book by Tiger.
I'm just being I guess I'm being overly open and honest about my own kind of failings, my own weakness as a human being. You know.
I don't think you're being overly honest.
No?
I think that you're being truthful, and I think you're hitting a nerve. No. I think the self-hypocrisy of us trying to beat the system from within the system is the whole idea of the Matrix movie. You can't. We have to disconnect from the system, but how do we do that? Because we need to still open people's minds, but there's no actual place to go to hack the Matrix, to get in, to hack people's minds, to get them out. There's no Zion. You know, it's not a doable thing. We need the technology. It's a tool, like a hammer. You can use a hammer to build a house or to crack someone over the head. So we need this technology.
Do we?
But to harness the technology for good, well, to do certain things, you need the technology. Not to do all things, or even need, but desire.
You can have technology that doesn't trash nature and doesn't, as Tesla said, all these patents and all these technology got steered into building machines that deceive the eye and the ear.
Yes.
Which means this mobile phone and this computer I'm talking to.
Well, I don't want to belittle the very thing that I'm actually doing right now, which is I'm doing a 24-hour live stream on the internet, and it's reached X number of, however many people. And that's a good thing. It's positive. I feel good about it. But what if I had taken that 24 hours and instead of doing this thing on the internet, if I had walked outside my front door and spent 24 hours talking to people face to face, how much more would I have achieved?
Well, you would have been viewed as Hare Krishna or a Jehovah's Witness.
By some. But what if I...
Yeah.
Because what I've done here, as good as it feels to have done it and to be a part of it, and I feel connected to the people that were here with me, and there's nothing but positive feelings about it. But isn't it like an echo chamber? Was I ever?
That's what
is this gonna reach? Is this gonna even hit a single person who wasn't already in the fold, as it were? But if I went outside my door for 24 hours, because the people outside my door don't have any idea about this.
Right.
Okay, they don't.
Yeah, I know. That's why
they don't have any idea. But the people I'm talking to now, they already know.
When you close your door, that's the entrance to the insane asylum, which is everything outside your house.
Yeah. The people outside my front door have no idea about any of the stuff we're talking about. Those are the people I should be trying to talk to.
Well,
if
now
I
wait a
really
minute.
wanted to make an impact.
Yeah, okay, but let's back up
I'm being a
3 or 4
devil's
months ago
advocate
when
a
you and
little
I were
bit,
talking. Okay, but you told me that the goal of Flat Revival was to bring flat earthers together. I mean, is that still the case?
Absolutely. The scope and the purpose of the magazine has shifted. The philosophy has shifted slightly as I have as I shift. But yeah, of course, it's to bring people together.
So the next goal in realizing that you've got a group of people together is to band that group together for a common purpose of proselytization.
Mm-hmm.
So to preach the truth, there would have to be some sort of structure, and I mean, there's a famous Old Testament story of Esther, who her uncle Mordecai said to her, "Well, who knows that you were brought into the world for such a time as this?" And maybe that person is you to be a general or a captain of the cause, and I might be preaching to myself as well, but to start getting some sort of organizational structure to not compete with other flat Earth groups, but to cause and effect support and to reach the
it can't be about competition.
What is the point of that? There is no point in it.
Yeah.
There is no better idea, no better concept or better way to do it. It being let other people know that the Earth's flat.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm liking that. I like it. I like the fact that you're shifting gears. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Well, I just.
Yeah.
I think I'm building up to the realization that I have to do the very thing I don't want to do, which is not sit here in front of my computer. And I don't like that idea. I don't want to go out. I don't want to like face to face with people. It's not necessary. It's not something I wake up and like, I want to go out and talk to people today. But I feel
you're not. No, I mean,
I feel like
we're not all Nathan.
That's what's going to happen. If I want to do, if I want to be a positive impact part of this process of moving this forward, that's what it's going to look like. Because doing this, as fun as it is and as connected as I feel to all the people that were part of this and the people that have watched and are in the chat. I mean, what is the impact? What is it going to have tomorrow? Is it going to mean anything? Whereas if I go outside my door and talk to that person who had no idea about this and actually get them to start thinking about it, that's fundamental. That's real. That's tangible. That's something that it has an impact, and it's like, I guess I'm just coming to terms with this, like, the internet is great, but maybe it's time to step outside that context for a second and focus.
My mate, my Dutch mate Marcel, flat earther and awesome bloke, just a rock in the stream, mate. He knows exactly who he is. He's really solid person, awesome guitarist. He'd be like a $2,000 an hour act, easy, but he doesn't want anything to do with the industry. Just play songs on the internet. Anyway, he was saying the same thing that you were saying. It's like I forget how to break it down again now, but Oh, well, the metaphor for what he was saying, I'll remember shortly.
Nice.
Well, put his YouTube link up, or put his link up so we can find him, because I like
Yeah,
good
that's
guitars.
Marcel Molinars. Yeah, I'll grab him for you.
Cool. That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're gonna know, Ty. I
mean, I'm not.
it's gonna come to you.
Yeah, I'm just.
No, you're gonna know the right time. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it, man.
I'm exploring.
I mean, look at there's
I'm exploring all kinds of ideas in my head and just trying to figure out what is the best use of. I have a limited time for doing any of this kind of stuff, and the most comfortable way to spend that time is right here. What I'm doing. This is
the only job to do, mate.
You know, this feels comfortable to be here on the internet doing it this way, but I don't know that it's actually the most impactful way that I could spend that time.
Yeah.
You know, because nothing compares to the face-to-face.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da. You both got the side chat up, baby. I'll put it in the side chat.
Okay, thank you. There's a couple of ideas on how John the Baptist was brought up. He's the physical cousin of Jesus, and he was. Some people say, and I think I go with this story mostly, that he was raised by the Essenes, which were a sect of the Jews. They lived in caves out in the wilderness, and they translated, or not translated, but transcribed scripture from scroll to scroll. So they were like Xerox machines of the day, and they were very, very astute at what they did, and not, no errors were allowed out of the caves to the people. So the Essenes, so John was in your business because he was there every day writing down this, text A to text B, exactly. Right. Over here, exactly over there. So he was spreading truth via documentation. But then one day he said, "You know what? My time is up," and he went out and he started preaching. Well, they beheaded him for it, but I mean, you got to know that he knew the day that he was supposed to do it. So
sorry, that just was like, wait, is that the? Are you saying if I go out there, I'm going to get beheaded?
Well, I'm saying that if you go out there, you're going to be remembered from 2,000 years from then. I mean, well, that's an everlasting testament, isn't it? That's a legend. That is something to be remembered for.
I'll take it.
So, yeah, exactly, right?
I really
I'll be
don't.
Beheaded for that kind of memory.
And I don't know. Maybe people could just say this, and I don't really have any fear of death. I don't. Dying doesn't really. It doesn't concern me because I'm not that interested in being here in the first place. Because I think there's something much more than this. So like, I'm not that concerned with that. Like, if I met some kind of violent end because I did something and the government came in, like, it just doesn't concern me.
Yeah. Well, good. I don't think it should.
I don't know how other people feel about it, but I'm not obsessed with death. Some people are.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, well, everyone's got their own path for that kind of belief or reasoning, and like you were saying before, it could change any day. The next day you open your door, you might think differently about the world. But the way I see it was, we don't really die. Our actual selves. This body, we kind of borrowed it from nature, if you know what I mean. It's still part of you.
Yeah.
It's part of you for now, but we ourselves don't die. It doesn't stop. You keep learning, and
I have to. There's no other way for me to see it, because if that isn't the case, then man, this is what a big box of junk this is. If that isn't true, then
it's not. Yeah, it's not necessary that you go to the nihilistic. This is all pretend, a matrix. We're living in someone's TV, and nothing matters.
Yeah,
way to that way, but it doesn't.
I can't.
There's nothing to be gained. there's nothing to be gained by keep implying on your own life that nothing matters, that and people and nature doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean,
so it must, so it must needs be the other way, that you respect it,
even if
it,
even if
and
it
know
was
that you're more than this body that walks around, which is an amazing, beautiful thing in itself.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah.
And even if it's a simulation, it's like that doesn't even
It's
change it. It's like, who cares? Even if it's
a window on an environment. That's what it is. It's a way to sensorily pick up what's in your environment, soak up the vibrations, and work out what's going on.
Yeah, there's a purpose to it, and I
talk over the top of you there. I get passionate.
I have to know. I have to believe that, because to believe otherwise is like, man.
Exactly.
That's so dark. I mean, you can't even.
There's no good to be had there.
There's nothing. It can't lead your mind anywhere to think that when you die, it's over. If that's.
And this is what Paulie was touching on before, but seeing both sides, the black and the white, the yin and the yang for any one issue,
Right.
But not in terms of good and bad, not in terms of judgment, just in terms of that's what there is. There's polarities. There's a shit way to go about it.
Right.
It comes to no good, and then there's the good way, and that's what essentially the whole concept of God, good, and even for all the people, even atheists that accept a creator, whatever division that is, but people accept that it's an amazing nature anyway, even if it was all an accident. So that's still that theistic respect for where you are and treating it as real and important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I agree that we all have the idea that the fear of death is silly, or at least it should be silly, or at least it should be something we need to get over.
Yes. Yes, that sums up what Ty was just saying. It's there's no good to be had by going, eek, I'm going to die. Because if you do believe you stop existing when you can't get, and a lot of my good friends do, including Night Angel, who's in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that if that's the end, then that's the end, but you don't fear it anyway. So what's the point of fearing it if that's the end?
Right.
Yeah,
of what you know of everything.
Yeah, right. I mean, really, from any perspective, what's the point of fearing it? I mean, it is what it is. There's just no.
And if we're all evil, and going to hell, mate, according to them, then in hell we're going to have some great company.
They are so wrong. Hell is a Norse myth. Have you seen the latest Thor movie? The latest Thor movie has Hel as the antagonist. Hell is a Norse myth. It's ridiculous. Christians have got it wrong. They don't understand the Bible. They need to understand something else.
Hell is a battle
that's a rabbit
with
trail.
itself. What we've just been talking about. If you negate what's good and what's good for humanity and nature, then you're negating yourself. So it's negative.
I wanna hear your take on hell, Paulie, but I gotta take a quick break.
Okay.
If you guys can carry this for a second, but I want to hear what your interpretation is. Yeah, I really do.
You want me to play a song? Or are you having a toilet?
Yeah, play a song, man. Play a song.
What? Okay. So hold that thought, Paul.
I'm holding.
Hello to the ham, if that's the real ham. Actually, you haven't had any trolls for hours, not since you restarted. Ty doesn't get trolls, he's too nice. La la, what song should I sing? Sing a song. I think I promised a song before and now I've forgotten what it was. if you don't know by now. There ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. It don't matter anyhow. When that rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason that I'm traveling on. But don't think twice, it's alright. There ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. That light I never know. There ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. I'm on the dark side of the road. Still I wish there was something you could do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. But we never did too much talking anyway. But don't think twice, it's alright. There ain't no use in calling out my name, babe, like you never did before. There ain't no use in calling out my name, girl. Well, I can't hear you anymore. But I'm thinking and wondering all the way down the road. Once loved a woman, and that child I am told. I gave her my heart, but she wanted my soul. Don't think twice, it's alright. So I'm walking down this long, lonesome road, gal. Where I'm bound, I can't tell. But goodbye just seems too good a word, gal. So I'll just say fare thee well. Now I ain't saying you treated me unkind. You might have done better, but I tell you I don't mind. 'Cause just kind of wasted a lot of my precious time. Don't think twice, it's alright.
Yes. Very nice, man. I got to catch some of that
didn't
one.
suck if I say so.
Very cool.
Good. Glad you liked it.
Oh
Awesome.
man, it's just great to have you here, man. It's good stuff, you know.
Yeah. Marlena kept saying, like he's really keen you're going to join. I said, yeah, I'm definitely going to join. As I'm waking up thinking, what is it? and the first hangout I tuned into you was yours anyway. I was already watching it.
Oh, nice.
I was like, what's this hangout? Where is
what
it?
Is this?
Who are these people?
Yeah. There you go, man. A lot of people got to meet each other on this hangout that hadn't, they hadn't talked to each other before. So that's
what would be a
cool.
rough count of the amount of different guests you've had?
It seems like that maybe 15. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be about right. I did a 16-hour one, and I figured out there was roughly a guest for each hour, but there would have been 3 or 4 on for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
A guest per hour to over, yeah. and awesome transitions too, just from pick out important stuff to music and fucking around. Yeah.
That's the key thing, is like that it can just go from that to that, and it's kind of effortless.
Yeah, like life, it can't be all one thing the whole time, you know. 8 hours of constant flat Earth statistics is like, I want to go
just
home.
melts your brain. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be some break in that.
Variety is the spice of life. Variety, diversity, and reciprocal systems. There you go. I always sound really smart just after I sing a song, and I'll go back to being dumb soon.
That's funny.
There he is.
Yeah, that's wobbly. I was talking to you earlier, New Perspective. Yeah, it comes up as Trevor on the screen, I think. No. Because that's my name.
That's my name.
That's my name. Trevor.
It's the one my mum made up anyway.
But in the chat, you're...
it's Welsh, actually.
In the chat, you're Woobly, right?
Yeah, Wobbly Boost, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I thought so.
What does your name mean? Does it mean anything?
Oh, it used to mean a whole bunch of things. It's the first transformation was playing Counter-Strike, and I made up the name Wobbly Boots. Wobbly Boots itself just means drunk in Australia. You use it all the time. He's got his wobbly boots on. You know?
That's funny.
And then Counter-Strike, whenever you crouched, your character's boot would wobble like this kind of weird oscillation. I thought it was pretty funny at the time. And then I was playing a spaceship game, and it turned into Wobbly Boosters. So yeah, that was just like a database. You never saw a spaceship. It was just all maths. Yeah. When I still believed the world was made of spinning balls.
Back in the day.
Balls. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Oh, those spinning balls.
But Wobbly Boost became... Wobbly Boost was when I was getting into magnetism. I've always been into it, but when I started to discover it as a strata for the universe, what everything's made out of, started getting into it in that way.
So you wanted to know my opinion on hell?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm interested because, you said, most Christians have it wrong. I'm curious what the interpretation is.
Well, I have just knock on the door and see what's inside. Let's go there now.
Yeah, I have a pretty rare view. That it was a translation error into Greek, hell, because that's Greek mythos, and basically hell, Hel, is just the Norse god of death, and she was in charge of all the dead. And I can't remember if she was the one who was Odin's daughter in the actual myth, but it's incorrect. I mean, in the Bible, the Old Testament specifically, there's a place called Sheol, which is the place of the dead. Really different than the New Testament. There's Gehenna, Tartarus, a couple of other words that mean the place of the dead, and if you look at let me just go to my website real quick. Okay. My Flat Earth. There's a talk about specifically a physical place that's underneath of Sheol. It's called Sheol. Sorry, I've got to search. Flat Earth, and there's on the right hand side there's scriptures, and I'm looking at the text view that it's below the earth. It's mentioned many times. I'm looking at maybe 20 or 30 different places where Sheol talks about below the earth, down to Sheol, and the dead go down. And so from the Christian's perspective, like if you don't know Jesus, you go to hell. That's incorrect. There is no hell, but they're saying Hades. If you don't know Jesus, you go to Hades if you die. Well, that's not correct either. It says specifically a lot of places that the dead are dead, and you don't have anything after that. And the only way to be alive is to have your spirit be reborn, which is what Jesus talked about in John 3. Jesus or Yeshua, HaMashiach, whatever you want to call him, that guy. Job, probably one of the oldest books of the Bible. When the cloud vanishes, it's gone. So he who goes down to Sheol does not come up. And that's a flat earth verse right there, dude. Down, up. Right. We're not talking about spinning balls. We're not talking about a metaphysical place. We're talking about a real place. You know, they go down. Even Proverbs, Isaiah, these are all Old Testament. Amos, Jonah. Here's Jonah, and he said, I called out of my distress to Yahweh, and he answered me, and I cried for help from the depths of Sheol. You heard my voice. So, you know, he's omniscient, so he sees and knows everything, and he can see into hell. Or, sorry, I just used it again. Dang it, I try to get myself away from that. You can see into Hades or see into Sheol. So I specifically believe in a physical place called Sheol or Hades, and it's not the burning lake of fire. That's later. That's when the new heaven and the new earth comes about. And the new Jerusalem sits on top of the new earth. I mean, it's going to wobble if it's the dimensions are correct. So it can only fit on a flat plane. Yeah, down to Sheol, down to hell. I did it again. Down to Hades. Here's 1 Samuel 2:6. Yahweh kills and makes alive. He brings down to Sheol and raises up. I mean, up and down, up and down. It's always up and down in the Bible. So the hell myth that sinners go to hell is just that, a myth. That's not the system of the world that God created in Genesis. You know, that's not the way it works. You know, there's boundaries. There's up, there's down, and there's four corners. There's borders. You know, it's a system, and it works. That's basically it.
Okay. I'm not. Wait. I'm not sure how did you define hell in the context of what you just shared?
Well, hell, the word hell is just a wrong translation.
Okay, fine. Get rid of the word. What happens if you're not quote unquote saved or whatever, you know, you don't have salvation, then what is the alternative outcome for you? What does that look like?
Well, from what I understand, people say, and let me talk about the myth first and where it was busted. There's a verse in Revelation that talks about Hebrews 2:4 as well, where it talks about the devil, which is Satan, being taken and thrown into the lake of fire, and those who follow the spirit of the Antichrist, and the beast and the false prophet, and those who took the mark of the beast. So those specific people are the only people who are thrown into eternal torture. And that's the only place that talks about people being thrown into eternal torture. Everyone else, it talks about they are dead. Then they're dead. And then that's it.
Just nothing then.
It they just cease to be. But Jesus said in John 3, if you are reborn or born again, then you have eternal life and life abundantly. So there's two things. You have life and life abundantly, which is just being reborn. I mean, you can't. I don't know how the Reformation movement. I don't know how Protestants. I don't know how they take these scriptures and twist them so mightily against what the Bible's actually talking about. I mean, so you have a spirit when you're born, but it's not alive yet. And when that spirit is reborn, born again, then that spirit is alive, and that spirit is the one that Christ came to save the quick and the dead. So the the quick are those who have been quickened with the Spirit, and the dead, he still wants to save them, but they're not going to be saved because they're dead. He talks about the story of Lazarus and the rich man, and this gets into some pretty heavy stuff. But Abraham's bosom, sometimes called Sheol, was the Old Testament Sheol, the Old Testament, what people call hell. And there was a separation, a big chasm. And those who had righteousness that they believed in God were on one side, and those who didn't were on the other side. When Christ came, he took everybody, and they went up and got judged. And then, so from then on, people are judged in not a different way, but in a different process. So salvation is through righteousness. And if you knew who Christ was, then that is the righteousness that you're saved through. But if you didn't know who Christ was, then it was what Romans 1 talks about, the law unto yourself. So if you, like the people, the Wichita Indians, the native Wichita Indians of I guess Kansas now. I don't know where they live, maybe Dakota. However, I digress. They believed in someone called the Keeper of the Plains. The Keeper of the Plains was the one who created everything. And they knew that they shouldn't murder. They knew they shouldn't steal or rape or kill or whatever. And so they worshiped this guy. Now, so deep inside of every person is this conscience. And this conscience is the law to yourself. When you come upon a greater law, then that supplants it. You know how to do things better. So the Jews, like Abraham, who didn't have the laws of Moses, knew what to do right and what to do wrong. If they believed in righteousness and obeyed God, who they knew, Sumerians called him Enki, but when Terah took his son Abram and left, they quit worshiping Enki, and Yahweh appeared to Abraham and said, I am that I am. I'm the guy. I'm the God. And so Judaism was born, or I should say the people of Israel. So this law that we have takes us to a point, but then when Christ came, he became the new and better covenant to fulfill that law so that we could have salvation through him. But anyway, that's the long and short of why hell is not in my, it still is in my repertoire. I'm trying to get rid of it though.
No, I get that. I mean, it's difficult. It's not necessarily, these aren't necessarily topics that I want to engage. I mean, just to be fully upfront and honest with you. But I'm down. Okay. I'm down to do it, and I'm willing to do it because I think there is an intellectual component to it, and I think I respect you as a creator and a contributor to not just a magazine, but just someone who is, you're present and you're diligent, you work hard, you produce, and I want to hear what you have to say. I'd like your interpretations. And I grew up with the Bible and I thought a lot about it in my early years, and I came to the same conclusion about hell myself. That hell was actually just hell in essence was a separation. It's just darkness. It's nothing. It was my conclusion. Yeah. It's a separation from the thing that is not death, not darkness, which is whatever you want to call God, whatever. It's just an end. So yeah, I came to that conclusion myself. But I
was just going to say on that, but my mic was shut, and when I started talking, I thought, oh, nobody can hear me. But yeah, the concept, the hell is, like you said, it's the concept of getting it all wrong, basically, of negating life and existence and humanity's spirit,
right?
Yeah, and nature. So yeah, it's the demon. It's the demon is the daemon. Like when you take a daemon of your computer, it's an image of it that's only functional while it's still attached to the actual computer. You know, it's like a secondary facsimile.
I really
That's
like
cool.
that analogy. That's wonderful.
That's pretty cool.
It's the demon self. It doesn't actually exist. You know, if you take away the human, it vaporizes.
That's pretty cool, man. Nice.
Yeah, or maybe a screenshot of a program.
Like that. That was worth unmuting my mic for. I started saying it and I was like, oh, they're really not interested in what I'm saying.
Yeah. Of course we are, dude.
No,
I was muted while I was talking.
Oh yeah, I do that. I've done that several times through this thing.
Oh yeah, you will do it again.
But they're okay. I mean, and maybe this is a little morbid because these are the kind of questions or like things that I stumble on when it comes to the context of what you're talking about. And okay, if we're, it's difficult. I mean, as I understand it, it's actually kind of difficult to lead a righteous life, to actually the odds. Let's just say, like, what are the odds of someone born, living their life, and actually making it to whatever heaven? The odds are against them in a world such as we exist in, isn't it?
Well, if you're talking about it right now, the world that we exist in, yes, it's impossible.
Okay.
And I think that's the whole point.
But do children get an automatic pass?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I think to the
so
age of
if you're a parent, parents, here's, and this is, again, it's a morbid thought, but these are things that I, as just someone who's always questioned things and thought about things a little bit differently, in my mind, if I was a parent and I believed 100% what you're talking about, and I knew that the odds were stacked against my child, why wouldn't I just kill them?
Because they haven't shown their potential.
Who cares about the potential? If you kill them, they're going to get eternal salvation automatically. It's an auto pass.
But I think that taking that potential away, taking free will away from a young person, would be cheating them out of the opportunity to have righteousness for their own decision.
But also statistically, they're gonna not succeed. You see what I'm saying? There's a dilemma there for me, and the dilemma also comes into play when, you know, it talks about spreading the word, or what, you know, getting it out to as many. You know, this is like going out on missions and like. But if somebody out in the middle of the jungle has never heard about this truth, they get an auto pass too, don't they?
Well, see, that's
why go and tell them about it and give them the opportunity to fail? Just let them have the auto pass.
I like that.
These are questions I ask, you know.
No, they're good questions, because Paul talks about that in his epistles when he wrote the.
I also believe that having a good question is way more important than having a good answer.
There's truth in that.
Well, maybe.
Sorry to interrupt, Paulie. In epistles, mate, as you were in epistles, I had to say that.
No, that's fine. He says that the law, or the commands, or the truth was there, but that we didn't know it. So that because we didn't know it, we weren't culpable. So now that we do know it, we are. And I think that God wants people to have knowledge. So, and I asked my seminary professor this. I said, what about the guy, let's just say the guy living in Babu Botswana, or the Horn of Africa on the eastern side.
Yeah.
He wasn't able, like the second that Jesus rose to heaven, and then he dies a second later. there wasn't physical time enough for him to get the word. So what happens? Well, he falls under the Old Testament law that if he was righteous in his life, he was a law to himself. And that, I think, the mentally handicapped, I think the infirmed, well, I guess it would be mentally infirmed again, but children, those who are in coma, they are past. But I don't think that innocence, as it were, is a good substitute for righteousness. I think that once you're on the innocent path, you're there until you choose righteousness or unrighteousness. Everyone fails. And that's why we needed a savior in the Christian, religion.
Okay.
So, but
yeah,
again,
I get that a lot. Yeah, because that's the setup. Is that basically being
that's the setup. But
being a perfect,
then Protestants get it wrong.
Yeah, being perfectly innocent
about
dogma. Being perfectly innocent is almost impossible to maintain.
Right.
Is that right? That's the assumption.
That's from what I understand the Old Testament and the New Testament to talk about. That it's not possible.
But it's a kind of righteous pursuit in itself, but it's not righteousness itself.
Yeah. Oh,
that's if I'm getting it right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like our friends the Aborigines. Before Captain Cook came and before the white man's religion came, as it were, what happened to them?
Yeah.
Well, I honestly believe that they were a law to themselves. If they had the revelation that the one Spirit who created everything was to be trusted and worshipped, then yes, they are in heaven, because they would fall under the Old Testament covenant through Abraham, through Moses.
Because they don't have ownership. They say the land owns them, and the land will choose you individually. Where you go on in Australia depends on where Australia wants you to be.
Yes,
it owns you.
And,
you belong to it by invitation. It tells you where you want to be.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's not something that a lot of Christians want to talk about, or Jews.
Because it's been swamped in everything. Everything tribal religion is evil. There's only Christianity, and everything else is wrong. And I know you don't subscribe to that. Yeah.
Oh well, okay. You had the church, and what it's called the ecclesia, because church just means circus in Greek.
Yeah. Okay.
The ecclesia, the body, in the Old Testament, was the Jews, was the children of Israel, and then they became lost and scattered. 11 tribes became lost and scattered. Yeah. And then you've got the Jews, the Levites, and the Benjaminites. And I've got Levitic blood in me, so I guess I fall in that tree. But then the ecclesia was still the ecclesia, and the first church, or the one that Peter and Paul were a part of, they understood that. But then something happened.
The church that was built on the rock of faith that didn't have a building yet.
That verse is where the Catholics took that verse.
Yeah, I know, they smashed it. They ruined it. Yeah, I know. I was brought up Catholic for just my younger years, but my whole family stopped practicing. The entire family.
Well, that verse, those two verses. The first verse, "Upon this rock will I build my church," and the second verse, "Whatever you bind in heaven is bound on heaven; whatever you loose on earth is loosed on earth." They took that to mean that Peter was the Pope, the first Pope, and then they had a Pope, and that's just totally.
No, it just meant that he had the faith. He had the faith, so he could, he could teach people. Basically,
it's garbage. It's garbage because no, Jesus is the rock. And so then you had the Protestants who protested that. I mean, you can, and this goes back to an earlier thing you were saying, Ty, being part of the system, within the system, trying to change the system from within. Well, that's what St. Francis did.
Oh, yeah.
St. Francis liked that.
And like you say, it's perception, and they just pushed a single perception on a whole lot of things, and it just changed the meaning so much that they flip it,
Yeah. What Jesus talked about to the Pharisees, he says, "Why do you obey the traditions of man and not obey the word?" Well, because fuck traditions of man, in my opinion, obey the word. So that's St. Francis said, I'm going to stay in the system and try to change it. Martin Luther did the opposite and left the system and changed it from without. So you can do a lot of change either way. But I specifically applaud Martin Luther and the reformers for getting out there and trying to get back into what the word was actually saying, getting away from tradition, indulgences, and garbage and garbage and garbage. And I don't know of one church out there who subscribes to what the Bible actually preaches. I don't know, because they dumb. They worship on Sunday. That's dumb. They give tithes. That's dumb. There's no temple. You shouldn't give tithes. Oh, it just makes me want to vomit. It really does. I get so sick and tired of religion, man-made cultural garbage, when they should be practicing the tenets of what Jesus taught. He says, not one jot or tittle. There's those words again, that mean commas or periods, will be taken away or added from. Taken from or added away. Anyway, my word, but that it will endure forever. So according to the tenets of what God wrote to Moses and what had Moses write, we should be doing those things. And whether you call it Hebrew roots or whether you call it insanity or whatever, nobody that I know personally, besides my neighbors, practice it. And it's just, it just grinds me to tears. Oh, dogma, man, tradition is garbage.
Did they tell you all about it when you go for tea?
No, they are actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I house sat for them when they went and visited Italy. They went back to their home country for the feast of.
But yeah, I understand the set form dogma.
Oh man, and yeah, Catholicism is steeped in it. It's just you might as well have a social club.
It's the Jesuit curse. Like the religion within that religion is corrupting it constantly, and it's full of nice people.
Well,
both clueless and actual white hats that are trying to work against the
Masons and the Catholics are the same.
Yeah, I know all about it, man.
Pyramid scheme.
Yeah,
same.
I'll tell you a story one day.
Oh yeah, you should. But we are in and of ourselves our own priest. We don't need a priesthood, you know.
Exactly it. There is no gateway to God except your own heart.
Yeah, quit praying to Mary. Oh my God, stop it.
Yeah. and I say to people too, even though it's a bit rude because Scripture is full of truth, I say get your nose out of the book and look at nature, because that's God's word writ large. That's His works. You know?
Yes, and the Bible talks about
geometry, every reciprocal interaction is His work.
Writ large, yeah. I like that.
Writ large.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's a verse in 2 Kings 18:27 that I quote to people.
Oh, did I actually get it right? Sorry.
so no, that's okay. This is one of my favorite verses, and I'll put it in the actual Hangout chat.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Are you like those that sit on the wall and eat their own shit and drink their own dung, drink their own urine, drink their own piss?
Mm-hmm.
Are you like those people?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's you're just recycling the same garbage. Are you like those people that sit on the wall, eat their own shit, and drink their own piss? You know, or water from your own cistern. Your own cistern means you're gathering the water, you're collecting the knowledge, you're collecting the data, you're getting the goods from nature, and then
passing out what you don't need.
Yes.
And recycling waste. Recycling waste and calling it goodness. Yeah.
Well, you know what, Trevor? Here's an analogy that I use with a lot of people. For those who sit under a pastor at a church, they get the word of life, right? It's called the water of life. If that pastor's drinking it and disseminating down to his congregation, they're drinking piss. So don't do that. Drink from your own system.
Yeah, I'm currently drinking bacteria, Pete. Yeah. It's gross.
That's a side note, but yeah. Anyway, sorry to go on a little rant. But man,
it's cool, man. I mean, you know, like I said, this isn't the normal
if we
mode.
Get 100...
It's not something I would typically want to engage, but I think you do it in a way that it can be like just an intellectual exchange of ideas and concepts. It doesn't have to feel like
But
preaching.
my
And it doesn't have to be an attack.
Nah.
It doesn't have to be like you're wrong, I'm right. You're presenting this point of view, and you do it in a way that it doesn't feel oppressive to me, and therefore, I respect that.
Thank you. I didn't.
It's not a challenge, and you're not making us scared that we're all going to hell. That always helps.
Right. There's no hell. That's a good thing. But I mean, I fully believe in what I'm talking about, because
I know you do. That's very clear. I mean, that comes through loud and clear.
But yeah, but again, I wanted to, just maybe put a caveat on that. It's because I love you. That's why I'm telling you. I mean, that should be the heart of every person who says, "Oh, I'm going to go preach the gospel." You should do it out of love. The Bible says, "Preach the gospel to all creation." And so I talk to my cats about Jesus. I'm sure that that's weird, but it doesn't matter.
We like
I'm going to preach to all creation.
Weird is good.
Yeah. So it's born from a heart of love, and with bad knowledge. There's a verse in Hosea that talks about my people perish for lack of knowledge, and it is so pertinent, because good knowledge, drinking from your own cistern, is so important. You have to find these things out for yourself. There's a group of people called the Bereans in the New Testament, and when Paul preached to them, they didn't believe him, because what do? They said, "Oh, look at this guy. He's saying this. Let's go look in the scriptures to see if it's true." Oh, it is true because of the scriptures, so therefore we believe Paul. Not following a leader, I was baptized by Apollos, so I'm of Apollo, or I was baptized by Paul, so I'm of Paul. Paul said, don't do that. He said, follow Jesus. He said, if you're going to follow me as I follow Christ. So if I do something wrong, then stop following me.
Right.
That's why the Bible says, train up children in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart. That doesn't mean train up the children in your dogma. It's in the way they should go. So everyone's path, if I'm a fan or a follower of Eric Dubay, right? And I'm like, oh, Eric Dubay is always right, et cetera, then I'm in folly, because if he gets one thing wrong, then I'm wrong, and I'm worshiping an idol. I don't want to have idols in my life, It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that wasn't a pro or a con against Eric. He's a personal friend.
No, I get that. I didn't take it that way.
I don't believe. Yeah, I don't believe everything he says. So
I'm gonna grab a beer. Yeah. It's 5:30. I need a beer. I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely.
Somewhere.
Am I muted? I can't be bothered clicking my mouse. It's too hard.
You're like taking a nap, dude. What time is it over there?
It is 11 o'clock. No, sorry, 10 o'clock. No, let me start again. 10:30.
Oh, okay.
PM.
Yeah. Oh, in India has the hour and a half time zone, don't they? Where it's always like 30 minutes off.
India.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the melody.
It's like India, and then Newfoundland, Canada, and a couple of other weird places have half-hour time zones.
I wish I'd kept my empty cans so I know how many beers I had. That would be cool to know. It's been a bunch. I don't know, 20 something. Oh, good times. Yeah, this has been. I think there's I guess I expected to be alone, kind of have these stretches where I was just by myself, like plodding along on this thing, and I think there's a lot to be said for the fact that that did not happen. And it's not like I'm not a big player, I'm not a big channel. It's not like Flat Revival is some kind of, but the word, I spread the word, reached out to some people, and everybody just kind of rallied around and participated and made sure that there was always going to be people there and part of this thing as I went through it. And I think
We didn't want you to be
this speaks more to what the flat earth community is than all of this noise and drama and nonsense that we talked about in the stream earlier. It's like how this stream went down to me speaks more about what this is than all the rest of it. There's a lot there. There's a lot of giving there. There's a lot of we have a strong desire to come together. It's there. We just have to find a way to bring it out, to make it happen.
Yeah. It's always, I think the other chat live stream that you and I were a part of, you said something similar.
Yeah.
Like you were pleasantly encouraged then as well. And I think it's good. I think more live streaming, maybe, so you can get more encouragement along your journey as you're making this magazine. Yeah, I think there's more people out there that are going to give you high fives than smack you in the head.
Yeah, and it's not like I've had decidedly few smacks to the head. I think compared to most flat people who are in this, Flat Revival has seemed to not. I don't know if it's just that we've done a good job, not stepping in the junk or inspiring that kind of reaction, but I don't know, man. I just feel like despite all of the seeming disjointedness that's going on the surface, it seems like there's a lot of infighting and nonsense, but I actually think if you strip away a very small number of people, a small number of voices that are making most of this noise, I think underneath that there's a lot of people with a lot of unity and a lot of willingness to set aside small differences and come together and achieve.
Yeah.
We just have to skim off that layer of useless noise that's getting in the way.
Yeah, like you said, the piss and the shit. We just got to cast off what we don't need, and you're only left with good stuff.
Yeah,
because that's part of the admitting that we were, corrupted from early on. That we've got carrying all this shit, like thoughts and ideas. You kind of physically do carry it in the cells of your body in a way, which goes back to the magnetic sense of information being energy stored in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you actually, you literally physically have to get rid of this shit because you have to make room.
Yeah.
Got to make room. Sure. I think it was Arthur Conan Doyle's character Sherlock Holmes who said the brain is an attic, and what you keep in there is really just what you stumble upon. So you have to clean it up and get rid of stuff you don't need. Don't be a hoarder. It is right. It's just trivial. Trivia is trivial. So learn the things that you need. Don't learn anything else. That's why TV dumbs you down. It's programming. You're being programmed to be dumb. Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're being lied to by slipperiness. It's subliminal. Every sentence is loaded.
Oh, what was that commercial for Hulu that Alex?
Oh yeah.
I
don't know. I don't watch TV. I don't like to talk about TV.
It was amazing. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna put it in a link. It was the Hulu commercial. It was 1 minute and 12 seconds. Aliens are taking over your brain, and that's how they want it. It was one of the most.
Yeah.
It was one of the most apt things I've ever seen.
Here, how about I'm gonna grab this link and we'll just play it.
Yeah,
it's top body, mate. Present it. I'm gonna go and have a bong, just quietly.
Yeah, do it. Nice. Oh wait. Oh, you did not just do that, you piece of.
You tell that operating system, mate. Don't take any fucking shit.
It just like it was like, nope, we're gonna load this right in the chat window. You bastard.
Okay, everybody go full screen.
Hold on a sec. I made a blunder.
If anybody hears a crying, that's my cat. My other cat woke up, decided to run around the house and be a maniac.
Oh, I thought that was me. Damn.
So I'm going mute. Let you figure that out. Unless you want me to keep rambling on. You get it.
Hello, Earth.
Oh my.
I'm Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
TV star.
Oh,
you know they say
God.
TV will rot your brain. That's absurd. TV only softens the brain like a ripe banana to take
Sorry,
it
guys.
all the way.
My computer's it's just so chunky and slow after 24 hours almost. It's giving me problems.
My computer would not handle that. Couldn't handle 3 hours.
No, it's like the longer it goes, the more it's like, why are you clicking stuff still? Just stop. Shut me down. I hate you. I know. It's almost over. It'll be fine. Boom. There you are. I think we're ready.
All right. Let's do it.
Alright, gonna play this thing. Then get it to the beginning. Might be good.
I'm glad you managed to tame the beast, mate.
Hello, Earth. I'm Alec Baldwin. TV star. You know they say TV will rot your brain. That's absurd. TV only softens the brain like a ripe banana to take it all the way. We've created Hulu. Hulu beams TV directly to your portable computing devices, giving you more of the cerebral gelatinizing shows you want anytime, anywhere, for free.
There's no sound from the desktop type.
Mushy mush. And the best part is there's nothing you
working
can do
over
to
here.
stop it. I mean, what are you going to do, turn off your TV and your computer?
Yeah, it's on the watch page.
Once your brains are reduced to a cottage cheese like mush, we'll scoop them out with a melon bowler and gobble them right on up. Oops. I think I'm drooling a little. Because we're aliens. And that's how we roll. Hulu, an evil plot to destroy the world. Enjoy.
Boom. Yeah. I remember seeing that. So, what are your thoughts on that, man? Is this it's just like truth in plain sight kind of thing, or what?
Cottage cheese like mush. Yes. Truth in plain sight. And it's so absurd, they're going to believe, oh, that's funny. But no, guess what? That's exactly what is going on.
Now I remember why I don't watch television.
Yeah. I mean, well, even if you're approaching watching things from a perspective of, well,
sorry,
maybe
they said in chat.
Maybe
that
I
might
could
be his best work yet.
that might be his best work. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even if you approach watching this programming from the perspective of, well, I'm going to decode it and figure out their hidden messages, is it still having the same ultimate effect? You know.
Well, let's go back to the Clockwork Orange conversation that we had 3 hours ago.
Yep.
So we're being programmed by Stanley Kubrick as we're watching someone be tortured by watching violent and graphic images.
Yeah.
And they are changing. And yet we, as the audience watching this person being transformed, are not transformed? That's the question.
Right.
Truth in plain sight is always more ludicrous than, oh, you're a flat earther? Oh, you're so stupid. You know, it's truth in plain sight because they're being programmed to not understand what the actual laws of nature are telling them. You know, nature's law and the law of nature, they're going to tell you certain things, and you're being programmed to not listen. Oh, just drives me bananas. Modern education.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. Dang. Yeah, you know, I think we all know, we all ultimately know the real answer to all of this is that we just need to put down the devices. We need to stop looking at the screens, and we need to go out and have real lives with real people and connect with each other. Like, we just need to stop. But we're addicted. And we also justify, like, but we can use this technology to like do stuff, to change, to reach people.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's true. Maybe. But is the kind of reaching people that you achieve through this the same as if we were sitting in a room together face to face?
Okay.
It just isn't. It's just not the same thing, man.
It's a goal. That could be the strategy. The logistics and tactics of how we get there are yet to be seen. So do we start a church? Like, you know,
another one.
Genius. You know, how do we do that? I mean,
oh
this
man,
is a start.
I wanna be the new Bob. Hell yeah.
I mean, do you want it to be the new Eric Dubay? Is that the goal?
No, I think.
Or is it?
I don't know. I just feel like we know. It's almost like it's like any moral dilemma. Even if we kind of pretend on the surface that we're tortured about it, there's this deep down part of us that just knows the right answer automatically. We already know the solution to the problem. And the reason we don't go to the solution to the problem is because we don't actually want to. It's not what we want to do.
Right. Like I couldn't put down the controller to Horizon Zero Dawn for 3 days. I just had to sit there and had to do it.
Exactly.
Because I wanted to.
You wanted to.
You know.
It wasn't the best use of your time.
No. I just wasted my life right there.
And
I mean,
it's like we all do this.
But we all need some degree of relaxation.
Yeah, there's another justification. But what?
Right.
So this is the definition of relaxation has become engaging the screen.
Yes.
Is that relaxation?
Actually, well, it's deeper than that. I think that a true relaxation, engaging the screen moment can be picked up in a 22-minute episode. You know, 22 minutes minus the commercials. They call it a 30-minute episode. But you sit down once a day, you know, let's say Bob's Burgers, and with your wife, my wife.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to watch one with my wife. You better not. Anyway. So I sit there and, so we're done. We've relaxed with the screen together.
Right.
And then what? But that screen is the only thing in our every piece of furniture in my house, in my living room, is pointed towards that screen. So I guess I better do something else with it, shouldn't I? Oh, okay. So we got to get away from that screen. How do we break this programming? How do we do that? I don't know.
It's tough,
it's big.
Man. The problem is that it's really hard. We're really addicted, and we really don't want to do it. And it's like, okay, so we're gonna keep doing that. We're gonna say, well, maybe if I spend enough time on YouTube and reaching out to people through this other screen, it'll be okay. It's kind of like we're just kind of fooling ourselves. And that's that's kind of the human condition, I guess. it is what it is, and I think the only reason I'm able to even be so on like up front with this is because it's it has been 23 hours, and I'm just like, and my guards are
23
down.
hours and 27 beers.
I'm just exactly, and I'm just like, I'm an open book at this point about this.
Let me say something, man. I'm going to give you a word of encouragement, because you have created, at this point in the flat Earth world, you have created a magazine, issue 1, episode 1 of Flat Revival. And if you did nothing else, you've created a tangible asset for the group,
right?
For the whole, for the cause.
Okay.
So why are you disparaging yourself? Why are you saying I'm a waste? I'm
not saying
good.
that.
That's good.
I'm not saying that. But, I'm not saying that was a waste of time. I'm just saying that
it's not a waste of time.
We all ultimately know what the real solution here is, but we don't want to take the step because we're addicted.
Yeah, but you and Mon and several other.
Mine wants to figure everything out because it doesn't realize it's an appendage. It's an organ of the self.
Yeah. We'd be much better off going out and hugging a tree all day than doing what we're doing, is in my opinion. It's like
exactly a tree literally will make more sense to you and be a better friend to you than your own mind.
Yeah. It's just like, come on, guys. We know what the answer to this is. We've been lured into a trap. It's just like, Paulie, it's just like the Create Space scenario. They've lured us in with this, like, look at the shiny bauble, it's really appealing, and we're going to offer you all of this. But once you get deep enough, once you get close enough, they're going to yank it all out from under you, and then you're just going to be like, oh God, well, at least I still have this much. And you're just going to stay there because you're in too deep at that point. So we're just going to be like, well, at least I get to sell through Amazon, so I'll just hang out here.
Yeah,
and they've got you. It's like they're just assuming that you're not going to have the energy to do anything else at that point because you're too committed to it.
That's deep.
That's deep.
That's pretty deep. It's true. Any dogma setup that says that you have to do that has to be faulty.
I just think we really do know the answer, and it's getting back to basics. Human 101.
Yeah.
Go outside, grow a garden, talk to your neighbor, connect with people, work together collectively, raise your kids together as a tribe. Stop trying to raise your kids by yourselves and fucking them up every time.
Get out of your car and go for a walk in the forest.
Exactly.
Or nature or the beach.
What's up, Karen B? In the house.
Somehow.
Good morning.
In the garden, like you said.
Good morning. Have you rested, or do you have sleep on you?
I have.
You have the aroma of sleep, yes. And I don't like it.
Coffee with maple syrup in it.
Maple syrup. I do.
Yeah, maple syrup and coffee is hella good. I'm just gonna say that right now. It's actually really good.
Well, we've been using honey, and people think that's really weird, but I haven't heard the maple syrup thing. That's cool.
No, I was using honey too, and then actually Jibby is the one who said he uses maple syrup, and I tried it, and it's really good.
Jibby, that bastard, he'll lead you down dark pathways. Don't trust him.
I know. You just have to, watch out for the Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah. Maple syrup. I'm gonna does it have to be? Can it be like the cheap phony stuff, or does it have to be like the real maple syrup?
Well, I'm using real maple syrup, but I'm sure you could use the cheap phony stuff, and it'd be just as good.
Okay. Not that I would. I wouldn't use that stuff. Ew.
It has to be, non-GMO, organic.
There you go.
Raised by coconut oil, like Candy said.
Yes.
My wife and I have switched.
So I was just about to sing a couple of Beatles songs, but yeah, I didn't want to interrupt.
Maple syrup.
What's up, Trevor?
Yeah, hey, young Karen. Yeah, good.
How you doing?
Hi, Karen.
Excellent. Hi, Polly.
Yeah.
Hello.
Have you guys met?
No.
We just met now. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
There you go.
Nice to meet you. My wife and I have switched to agave for our coffee and tea.
Oh yeah, how do you like that? I've never tried that stuff.
Well, we've tried a couple of different brands. I don't know. It's a toss-up. I mean, I'm not going back to cane sugar, that's for sure.
Right. Agave
Yeah.
is a little. It's a little too subtle. I mean, I guess because we're so used to these intense, like, it's got to hit you in the face to mean anything. But agave is like it's a nice subtle thing. I mean, it works.
Yeah, I just haven't tried it yet. I don't know why.
Where were we? I can't remember now.
I'm sorry, I came in here and I totally threw you guys all off base, didn't I?
Oh
no. No.
So Kai is talking about moving to the forest and throwing out
our
computers. And
that's a little bit. That's a little bit
yeah.
much. I think that's an extremist.
Hey, I got a couple of Beatles.
There's a balance somewhere.
I got a couple of Beatles songs lined up, Ty. If you want to hear them now, or... there's a couple of people in the chat saying, "Oh, you know,
they want
Beatles songs."
Are they calling out for music? Well, I don't want to like have Karen come in here and then we're like, we're gonna play music now.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, that's why I thought introduction.
That's not cool.
It's just a couple of songs. Max talking to Karen. Yeah.
Is that okay Is that okay, Karen?
Well, what are you gonna play?
I mean,
a couple of Beatles songs.
You're like all rested
Nowhere
and
Man,
stuff.
and
it's like
Fields.
Yeah.
So
I'm like fresh as a daisy right now.
Yeah, you can wait.
I love Nowhere Man. Nowhere Man.
We're here all night.
I like music. Let him play. That's cool.
Okay, let's do some
Thanks,
music.
Karen.
Let's do it. And then when you're done with the music, we're gonna rock the last hour with some intense, awesome, deep conversation. It's gonna blow people's minds.
That's the way.
All right.
Awesome, Ty.
Let's do it.
Oops, sorry, one more page.
Waiting.
Sorry, anticipating.
I'm gonna mute.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah.
He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to. Isn't he a bit like you and me? Nowhere man, please listen. You don't know what you're missing. Nowhere man, the world is at your command. He's as blind as he can be, just sees what he wants to see. Nowhere man, can you see me at all? Nowhere man, don't worry, take your time, don't hurry. Nowhere man, leave it all till somebody else can. He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. making all his nowhere plans for nobody.
Awesome.
Those Strawberry Fields, because it's got awesome lyrics. Right.
You gonna play it?
Yeah, I'm playing it now.
Okay, sweet.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever. Living is easy with eyes closed. Misunderstanding all you see. It's getting hard but to be someone, but it all works out. It doesn't matter much to me. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever. No one I think is in my tree. I mean, it must be high or low. That is, you know, but you can't tune in, but it's all right. That is, I think it's not too bad. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever. Always know sometimes I think it's me, but you know and I know it's a dream. I think I know of thee, oh yes, but it's all wrong. That is, I think I disagree. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever. Strawberry Fields forever.
That was awesome.
Very nice.
Thanks. Yeah, it's good fun. Oh, that's good. I got that out of my system now.
Do you feel better now?
Yeah, I'm better now.
Excellent.
Trevor, what is your favorite song to play or to perform?
Oh, yeah, probably narcissistically my own songs. I haven't got many of them. One of my favorite songs to play that seems to be really easy and I can play it all the time is that Bob Dylan song, Don't Think Twice. It's got a really nice bouncy melody and good harmonic vibration to it.
Is your
and it's very simple.
Your favorite musician?
Probably. Oh, that's rugged. I don't know. Me? No. Poncho Pete.
Poncho Pete?
It'd have to be between Paul Kelly, writer here in Australia, and everyone. Segovia. There you go. He's my favorite musician. He doesn't even sing. Segovia, he plays classical guitar, or used to, but then he died.
Oh,
he
yeah.
stopped playing.
Spanish fellow, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Segovia.
Yeah. Yeah. Very famous. I've been listening to more Bela Fleck these days than I have in the past. Just wondrous guy. Have you heard of are you a Fleck head? Fleck tone?
The Flecktones, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely heard of them. I think my dad was telling me about them for sure. He also passed before Segovia.
Yeah. Yeah, he plays the banjo specifically, but he used to play, well, he can play pretty much any stringed instrument that I've seen.
Yeah.
He has an album, Throw Down My Heart, that he took the banjo back to Africa and picked up a lot of the tribal songs and remixed them. So that's pretty good. Good stuff. I'm sorry. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
I'm glad you were singing along to the song. Yeah, there was people doing that the other night, and I was like, come on the panel and sing along.
Oh, I think Ty is passed out in a drunken stupor. No, I'm just kidding. No, no.
His chair is empty. His chair is empty.
His chair is empty. Yeah. So, Karen, what do you do? I'm just now meeting you, so I don't know anything about you. Hello.
Well, I mean, I have a YouTube channel that I don't put very many videos on, but I do that.
At it now.
Huh?
I'm looking at it now. Looks like some good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, you have your own testimony. That's your first video 10 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome video, that one.
I want to watch that.
That's a rip.
I with 18 others on their flat Earth testimony, and I wish I would have talked to you 10 months ago. Would have gotten you in my book.
Yeah, Flat Earth My Journey, isn't it? The title. That's awesome. That one, Karen.
That's cool. You did a whole book on it? I never heard of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's, if you go to myflat.earth, that's the name of the website and the name of the book. In the book, I just decided to make a hardback just to people to give to their dads for Christmas or something. But it's basically just free there. All the pieces are on the, if you're looking at a web version, on the right-hand side. And then you can download the whole thing, and then, or you can just go buy it. But yeah, it was interesting to do. I just started collecting people from Facebook. Hey, you're a flat earther. Do you want to give me your story? So it's specifically directed towards people in the church, and because I think that's a lost target audience for me, I should say, my target audience, because I don't know, they're just ignorant of what the Bible has to say about the flat Earth. I mean, I'm not as a diss, but they just don't know, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. A lot of people don't. I mean, there's a lot of people are ignorant about it, though, not in a bad way. Just
right. Yeah, but I'm saying if
it's almost like all the ancient books all say that the Earth was flat for some reason.
Right, but I don't find a lot of people worshiping Enki, but I do find people worshiping Jehovah, and so they, in the ancient Hebrew texts, it says, there you go, look, there's the flat Earth. And so if they profess to say, oh, I worship the God of the Bible, well then, hey, look, you're not being truthful, because it's not really all there. Anyway, so that's the high point.
We can't.
Hi, Ty. I'm a terrible host.
We can't do the final hour can't be religious Bible.
No, that's good right,
mate. Can't.
You missed his songs.
I know. I feel bad about that, but I had.
You're on mute.
Oh,
you're muted, Ty.
Thank you.
Can't hear you, Ty.
There he goes.
You guys missed the most profound. I said the most profound thing you've ever heard.
Well, say it again. Was it just now?
Say la vie. That's how it goes. I guess it was just for me. You guys will never know what I said.
Don't.
Trust me, it was awesome. It was awesome.
The question is, do you know what you said? Hey, Jagan, mate. I'm sure
I see
it was profound.
Oh, I'm definitely.
I made a friend of
losing it.
I made a friend of mine a 30-minute video the other day, just a private one, just to talk to her.
Yeah.
And it died when I was rendering it down, the file, the shit itself, and I was like, oh, it's fuming. But I thought, oh well, maybe she got it across the ether anyway. Yeah, because I put a lot into it. It's important stuff.
Yeah, I hate that, man. It's irretrievable creative output. It's like that sucks when you lose something like that.
Don't tell us you lost it.
It
Lost,
vanished
it's
as
gone
soon as I
forever.
render it.
Are you serious? You can't remember what you said to yourself?
You're talking about what I said?
I'm dying. Yeah. You said that you just said something.
I did.
Do
It
you
was
recall it?
profound and awesome, and there's no way in a million years I'm going to share it with you fuckers.
It's too much effort to say it again. Fuck. That's awesome, that shit. You can't have it.
Oh, there was a snort. I heard a snort.
Oh my God.
No. Ooh, I got a snort. That's like the highlight of the whole thing right there. I got a snort. The end.
You still laugh.
I'm a snorter.
Close the door. This is, yeah, that was worth everything right there.
You should run the speakers when you get up, when I play a song when you go to the toilet, so
I will, dude.
you can hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate because every time someone played a song, it's like I took the opportunity to take a break, you know. So I missed all the good music, so I'll just have to go back and listen to
it. There's only 24 hours of Hangouts to look through.
It's nothing. It's a blink.
Blink of an eye.
Well, I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this. I did it when I was younger, and now, like, I'm not old.
Yeah,
I can still do this. I'm not old, man.
I think I went 38 hours once doing computer games. So.
38 hours. Nice.
Yeah, back in the days before the internet was good and you had to go to LAN cafes and play. You just go for 2 days, you know, take a carton of beer and a bit of pot.
But you're right. How long have you been going right now?
No, I had a big sleep, but I did 16 hours of Hangouts and then had a sleep for about 7 or 8 hours. Yeah.
16 hours of Hangouts.
16 hours straight, yeah, 2 8-hour blocks. They were cutting me off at 8 hours most of the time. So.
How do you guys do that? I mean, I know I did this big long thing, but it always amazes me. Like I watch people do these like 6-7 hour streams, and I'm like, wow.
Like you said, Ty, people just keep coming and going. Well, you know, it was mainly just me and other musicians were coming in last night. There wasn't a lot of chat.
Yeah. It's the dialogue, you know, that the engagement, that it's mentally exhausting, you know, to not just to when you're speaking, but the listening. If you're really listening and trying to get what people are saying, I mean, there's a lot of mental energy that goes into that process, and it's like there's only so much of that you can do.
Missed vital things in chat too, and all that kind of stuff too. It's just, you can't track it all.
No way.
I hooked up with a guy that I kind of got to know through South by Southwest, and he has a Ustream channel that's just live all the time on his desk. So you can go to his channel and watch a desk, but then he will have segments to where he does a little show. So maybe you should do that. Just set up a webcam at your
just
desk.
have it on all. No, that
never
that
stop
would
cam
that
on
would,
your desk.
that would capture things that nobody wants to see. I'm sure.
You found a really big booger this morning, and you got 400 views.
No way. This webcam is like usually stashed away in a drawer. I'm not into it. I'm not doing live
Sounds
streams
like
in
me.
general is like it's completely contrary to my nature. Doing this at all.
I would agree with that. That's probably me too. I'm not.
Yeah. I don't
not
know
big
what
on
what is
public
it about
spectacles.
flat Earth that makes us want to like do this stuff.
It's so mind-boggling that we have to share it.
It is. It's like
Because you can't just go walk out to your neighbor and talk about flat Earth stuff. I mean,
That could be it.
I don't even know how far I'd have to walk. I'd probably have to walk to Candy's house 30 miles away before I could talk to a flat earther. I mean,
yeah, I've never talked to a flat earther face to face.
Neither
I've
have
got to
we.
go about 400 k's.
where are you?
And I've
Flat
been
Earther.
I've been a flat earther for almost 5 years.
Wow. Oh, so where are you?
Chico, California.
Dude, there's lots of flat earthers over there in like Sacramento area.
Sure, there are.
But you don't leave Chico?
They'll come
man.
to you, mate.
No, I don't. I'm I'm a homebody kind of person. I
hear you.
work,
That's me too, though.
I work out of my home. I don't have to go to an office. I've set up my life for minimal engagement with human beings.
I commend you because that's exactly what I would like to do.
Well, I guess
Everyone
it's
does as
commendable,
much as
but it's
possible.
also I think there's a sadness to that too. But
Yeah, we're hermetized. But you have to hermetize because you just get attacked.
I love
True.
that you used the word hermitize. I thought I was the only one that used that phrase.
No, I'm the same as you, and I'm the same as you and Karen. I live a very secular life. I'm really nice to people. I smile to them in the street,
Yeah.
but I have a small radius of a few kilometers that I haven't left for months.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I don't. It's
Yeah,
not like I don't. I'm not glorifying that. I'm just. I just don't. I don't feel a need to go out. I don't want to engage people.
Well, look at how people are, though. I mean, it's
They're nuts.
it's like everybody talks about the zombie apocalypse. I mean, I think we are in it, man. We are in the zombie apocalypse, and there's people walking around on the streets, and they're all freaking zombies, and they don't care about anything that has any real substance. And and I can't go out in public and have, bullshit, meaningless small talk. Hey, how's the weather?
Sport.
I don't. I'm not going to talk about sports. I'm not going to talk about politics because it's all bullshit to me anyway.
Yeah.
Anything that I do want to talk about, if I start talking about it to people, they're going to look at me like I got two heads.
Yeah. And almost the bigger problem is when other people talk about something, it's this constant like, well, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's completely wrong. And it's like, I'm not going to say it, but it's like, no, who wants to be around the person that constantly is like, everything you just said is bullshit?
Yeah, why are you asking me to look at the horizon? Fuck off.
It's like, nobody wants to be around that person. So I just like, well, I'm going to stay home. I'll just be at home,
I get that.
and I don't know. I need to break that cycle. I don't want to do, it's like, I think part of this stream is kind of convinced me that I need to stop this cycle of isolation.
Well, I mean, it's good to get out once in a while. Like it's not like I never go anywhere. I do go out sometimes, but for the most part, I mean, like where I live, I don't know what it's like where you live there in Chico if you're out in the country or what, but where I live in this house and I'm surrounded by woods. Like I can't see anybody else's house from where I'm at. If I walk outside, it's just trees. Every window I look out is trees, and I like it that way.
Exactly.
You know? I like being able to walk around my house and not see anybody.
It's like there's a very isolating component to what we've come to. This the flat Earth state of mind, as I like to call it. It's not necessarily just like about the Earth being flat. It's just a way of seeing the world that becomes so antisocial by its nature, by default. It's antisocial because we can no longer have a conversation with the average person.
Because society has taken a mindset that is alien to us now. And so we to them are the aliens.
But we would, but the thing I keep trying to remind myself is that I was on that other side of the fence not that long ago. However many years it was like I was over there. They're not bad people. I was over there. Unless I'm admitting that I'm bad. It's like, why can't I just, there's got to be a bridge. I mean, there's got to be a way to bridge that.
It's not that they're bad people. It's just that they don't have the eyes to see what's really going on.
Oh, I think they have the eyes. They just don't want to have the eyes. They don't desire truth. They desire their fiction.
Well, yeah, but either way, they're not seeing things the way that we're seeing things. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, there's no way to.
And that's the way society is set up, though. Society is set up to be that way.
Yeah.
So when you go out into society in general, that's what you're immersing yourself in. And that's why, we're all doing the things that we're doing, because we need to set up our own sort of societal structure that isn't immersed in indoctrination and brainwashing and subliminal messages and mainstream media lies and bullshit.
I agree. I look, and I too live alone with my wife and my 2 cats, and that's the way I like it. I don't want to go outside anymore. But there's got to be, okay, look at Black Friday. Hey, let's all get together and buy things in an insane small amount of time for like not that much of a discount, and then go back to our homes and install it.
Right.
Again. There's no bridge. Stores can't create a bridge.
No, of course
Churches
not.
have failed. Politics have failed. Sports is like the only real good bridge. I mean, and what a terrible thing to have a bridge for.
I can't. I don't. I
hate it. Look, there's the ball. Go put it in the other thing. Oh, look, it's in the other thing. Now that part of the game, look, no, it goes to over there. Oh, they've kicked it. What a great thing.
Yeah, I've lost all capacity to talk sport language to other human beings. It just doesn't. The moment somebody starts talking about somebody's stats or like ability on a basketball court or football, it's just like shut down. My whole system just goes done.
Yeah. What are your stats, sir?
Louis Lewis, where have you been, man? Louis Lewis, editor of Flat Revival magazine, in the house. What's up?
What's up, Louis?
Not much, I guess.
Louis.
Okay, well, he's there, but not there.
Heard that
before. Yeah,
Has he talked?
No doubt. So yeah, I don't know. Are we just being like egotistical dicks?
Yeah. Nah.
On a certain level, or
like that from the outside, but I don't think that's what it is. I mean, I think it's just that once you see what's happening, you don't want to take part in it anymore.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you with us, Louis? Can we hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can hear you. This is the asshole
how's it going? Hey, I'm
on the magazine.
Awesome.
How, man, you're doing well. I didn't think you'd be this coherent.
I didn't either. I almost feel like maybe this has to be 48 hours for it to really push me to my like breaking point.
Shit, you
Oh my God.
you sound more intelligent. You sound more intelligent now than you did the first hour.
I know, it's dangerous. What does that mean?
And what a show, huh?
I
You've
have
had
to
a
say,
ton of good people on.
I have to say, there's been some
I'm so
moments
surprised.
that are like they've just been golden. I mean, Twin Serpent. I think they're in the chat room
Twin-
right now. They rocked it, dude.
I caught them. I'm glad I did. They're too.
They just rocked it. I'm just so impressed.
Yeah.
And like everybody that's been on this stream, Jibby was like, this guy was with me so long. There was literally a moment where he fell asleep snoring. Like Polly was talking, and I heard this noise. It was like this foreign noise, and I'm like, holy shit! I think that's Jibby snoring. I'm like, Jibby, and he's all, what? Whoa! It was beautiful, man. That guy is. I love him. I just gotta say,
Jibby, he's really fun to listen to. I love his voice. There's just something so comedic about it.
Yeah, he's got the knowledge and the depth, and he can drop it, but he also just has that sense of humor that's always there. It's in play all the time.
Yep. Yeah. Jibby is a character for sure.
Yeah.
I like Jibby a lot.
It's just the whole thing has been. It's been really. I feel like I've gotten more out of it than anybody else. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's not true, but it's really kind of made me feel empowered in just like doing what we're doing the magazine, Flat Earth in general. Like I just feel like, man, there is a path forward. You know, if we can just get the noise out of the way, get the nonsense out of the way, and we can do this. We're already together. Look at the unity we have.
Yeah, we are doing it. And I love that you did a magazine. To have something in print is awesome, because in the digital age where everything's going digital and can be just, deleted and forgotten about with just the swipe of a key, I think it is important to have books and magazines.
I do. Yeah, exactly. That's the driving force behind the whole concept, is a physical, you can put it in somebody else's hands kind of thing, and like Create Space is, maybe made that not as viable, but there's alternatives, and we'll figure it out. This thing is gonna march forward no matter what. We're committed to making it happen.
It would be cool to see, like, I used to be big into the punk rock scene, because I grew up over there in San Francisco Bay Area in California, and I was big into the punk rock scene when I was growing up, and everybody had zines. Remember zines?
Oh, zines are so cool.
Little homemade zines.
I was in Portland for a while, and they actually...
People should start doing that. Start making your own Flat Earth zines, instead of a punk zine or, something. Do a little zine. Make like 30, 50 copies and go pass them out,
Yeah, zines are
they're
the bomb.
I usually used to have a zine, and we made 1,000 copies on issue 5. They were the thing to do, and they reached a lot of people.
They were great. I used to love. I had so many zines. I used to love collecting them. I loved them.
There was a store in Portland, Oregon, that literally they just sold zines. Like, it was devoted to selling the local zines, which is like, really? You can actually have a store that has nothing but zines in it. Like, that kind of blew my mind.
I gotta ask, what is a zine?
It's just when people make their homemade little handmade zines. Like they write stuff, they put pictures in it, and then they go copy it off. It's like black and white, photocopied, fold it in half, staple it, and for a buck or whatever
it's
they sell them for.
Usually, typically a buck. And it's like, it's just photocopied, stapled pages, like boom.
Yeah, whatever.
Like literally, like
pictures.
A piece of construction paper for the cover. if they had it that way, most of the time it was just all regular paper.
You're describing the internet before the internet, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. I mean, that is what we did before the internet, because I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Right in the very infancy stages of the internet, and it was. Nobody had it.
I heard commercial comics were trying to take that over. They were using that to kind of stop that free flow of information.
Sure, anything that has real energy, they try to. Well, how can we take that over and package it so we can make money on it? But it's like nothing can compare with the raw passion and energy that was in its zine. Was like nothing else. It was just raw, and that was the beauty of it.
Writing out their innermost, and feelings, and just putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they knew the truth wasn't on the media then too.
No doubt.
Yeah, magazines that were zines were usually alt culture. Punk rock was a big theme, and I think a lot of us got our love of them from Big Brother magazine, which was a skateboarding magazine from the 80s, and
or MRR, Maximum Rock and Roll too.
Steal This. Was it called Steal This magazine? The Sharpie Revolution.
Oh right.
Steal This book, I think it's called. Yeah, and ours that we had was called Propaganda. And we actually sold ads to local skateboarding shops, and then we gave it away for free, or whoever wanted to charge. If the place charged it, like head shops would charge 50 cents or something. So it was really fun, because you could pretty much just write "fuck" for like a whole page, and no one would care.
No,
it was really
and have a picture of a bus, or something, and a rock.
Could be anything, man. That was the beauty of it. It just didn't. Whatever.
It could be Fugazi lyrics, and that's it. And the people would still like, "Oh, have you seen the new blah 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 blah?"
Man, again, it's like talking about zines. It's like, again, it just brings me back to this. Like, God, I want to get back to that more raw place where there aren't all these boundaries. It's like even getting this Flat Revival published, there were so many rules about where things could be, and like margins, and you can't do this can't be outside of there, and like we're not going to accept your file because whatever.
Oh, you know what? I actually used to work in a print shop for a very long time. I worked in a print shop, and I did pre-press for a print shop that had like the big presses and everything in it, and I used to lay stuff out to get printed, like magazines, books. I've actually I've designed a couple of books. I don't know, well, 3 or 4 books. I've done all that stuff, so I know exactly what you're talking about, because you have to have it in signatures, and it has to be so far away from the edge, because when they trim it down, you don't want your content cut off and all that stuff. So,
and I'm a graphic designer by trade, and I've been doing this for a long time. And like CreateSpace took it to a whole new level of asinine. Like it really? it almost drove me insane getting approval from those assholes.
Really? I mean, I haven't been in printing since 2008. I stopped doing all that, but
if it had been a real printer, you can't talk to anyone at CreateSpace. It's like it's a ghost entity. There's nobody there. It's like all run by a fucking animatronic AI system or something, and you can't talk to anybody. If I had been able to talk to a printer, I could have just said, "Look, this is how I want it. Look, you can cut that off. I don't care if that gets trimmed. It's a design choice." But
Oh yeah,
the algorithm that they use, it's like a program at CreateSpace that's like, nope, it looks like something important's gonna get trimmed, maybe, so we won't accept your file. And it's like, oh my god. So I just wound up like,
that's crazy.
I just wound
so
up
basically you're telling me my old job doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's like now an algorithm does your job, and it tells you that no, that's not gonna fit.
I have to agree. I've done 18 projects with CreateSpace, and it's like they hate every gutter that I submit, and I'm like, you silly rascal.
These are the gutters you told me to put, you asshole. So I'm gonna move them in. It's like, okay, well, now that I'm like a quarter inch in on everything you told me, is it good now? Or can I print now?
Yeah. My first book, I think I did 5 submissions.
Yeah, it gets ridiculous, and now they've made it so you can't make any money anyway. So, CreateSpace is dead. So fuck them.
So
moving
Louis,
on.
So you know what we need to do? I know what we need to do. We need to go get a vintage press, like a vintage printing press.
Yeah,
they're still around and they still work great. You go get a vintage printing press and you put it in your garage and you print your own shit.
I like that
and then you just cut all that stuff out to begin with.
That's the best idea we've had. Yeah, let's do that. And then
Louis,
let's do it. I want to buy a printing press, Polly.
Give
me all your money so we can buy a printing press. I used to know this
guy. He was from Fiji. He had presses in his garage, and he would, and he would have me lay stuff out for him so that for his customers, and then he'd go print stuff in his garage and he'd sell it.
Yeah, right. A proper letter set one, Karen. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remember the old rolly ones that they had at school when I was in primary or elementary school?
Yeah, duplicators. Those are duplicators.
Yeah, duplicators. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they put the original copy on carbon and squished it around the cylinder. And
there was a risograph. I used to own a risograph. There's mimeographs. Those old ones. Those are awesome because you can still work with them if you can find the right ink. But hey,
Louis,
I
read that.
Ty was telling me
got one
about the about CreateSpace taking away the actual store, CreateSpace store, and that's the first I heard about it was 4 hours ago. I am completely disheveled. I do not know how to cope with this news.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to take everything to lulu.com now or what? I don't know.
Yeah, it's harsh, isn't it? I was telling Candy about it before. CreateSpace screwed you over.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
so
it wasn't just us, man. They did not contact anybody to let them know this was going on.
That's not.
Yeah, it's the same with YouTube changing the rules and don't tell anyone.
Yeah, it just was a couple of articles on certain weird websites. I mean, it wasn't anywhere that I could find on Goodreads or anything.
Yeah, how was I gonna know? Like, am I supposed to be like, I wake up at 7 a.m. and search for CreateSpace news? Oh, they're closing down the e-store. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to assume that everything is copacetic, and if it isn't, I assume you're going to tell me.
I couldn't help thinking about how when we talk about this, we're not surprised anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the wall. I hate to use this analogy because it's so overused, but maybe it's because it's always so relevant. But it's like the frog in the pot. And it's like the water just slowly gets... If you bring the water to a slow boil, the frog just sits there. Yeah. And we're the fucking frog every time. How many times are we going to get boiled alive before we fucking realize we shouldn't be in this pot?
Yeah. I mean, you can... Guess what? The Romans are attacking. Ring the bell.
Just get out of the pot.
And you can look at shit like that and... It's real, take flat earth, state of mind out of everything. So you can look at actions like this from businesses nowadays, and it's real indicative of where our culture and society is going. Like,
yeah,
who would ever think to run a business like that? like not contact people when you're going to change a huge part of your business. What it's saying is, you know, we're too big to care about you. It doesn't matter. We can lose as many customers as possible, and guess what, fuckers? We're still around.
We don't even care.
You know,
we don't have to respect
it's unreal.
you. We don't have to. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing business with us. We have no respect for you whatsoever.
I mean,
it's like, are we just gonna sit here and like accept this as norm?
Look what you did. See, you can take it to the smaller places that are, I mean, this is why they're struggling, because they care. Like, look what you did for one little mistake. Well, not one little, but one you know, the mistake.
Yeah, I know.
In the first, you know, you bent over backwards to get that fixed. Where is that going to happen in society nowadays? It's just not. And that's real. I mean,
yeah,
we're looking at the precipice, you know, when all companies start doing that. They just, we don't respect you. We don't give a shit. Yeah. We're going to spit on you, and you're still going to buy our product.
I think
Facebook.
I don't know. I kind of feel like for me, the CreateSpace move was such a spit in the face. And you know, for Paulie, it's much worse because he's got 18 projects with them. And we're just getting on board with this company, but it's still a spit in the face. But I look at someone like Paul, and it's like, this is a model for what's about to happen across the board on all these platforms. YouTube, Facebook, I don't care what it is you're using, they're about to pull the rug out. We need to wake up and realize that they're about to pull the rug on a lot of this shit. This is just the start, you know? And
look at Crow, man.
Exactly. They just killed his channel, 80,000 subs, for no fucking reason, no justification.
Yeah, for no justifiable reason,
None whatsoever.
Over the Lunar Wave.
The Lunar Wave video that had been there for years. And he took the footage, he owns the rights to it.
He said it was over the footage that was taken by somebody from North Carolina, but still it doesn't matter because you know that person gave him that footage. It's not the person doing it.
Absolutely. Crow, like, he crosses his T's and dots his I's. That guy is a professional. I guarantee you he had permission to use anything that he had. That guy, it's just how he works. So we just need to understand that it's all getting. They're about to pull the rug.
And sometime yesterday, I don't know who the guest was, but it was mentioned. This was brought up. They had the argument or the side like, well, they can do what they want with their businesses, but I mean, it's not that easy. You know, I mean, you have places like YouTube who can, they have all their rules and stuff, but if they don't have to adhere to them or justify any of their actions, I mean, it doesn't matter that we're using their platform. The platform is there for us to use. It's a much bigger problem than just, they can do what they want. I mean, like you were said, Ty, this is the rug being pulled out from underneath us. And I think when we're fully censored, which that's where we're headed, that's an end game. It's over for everybody. You know, censorship may be, you know, the biggest thing to tackle right now, because use of language. And the right to be able to publish whatever you want. When that right's taken away, I mean, we're fucked.
Yeah. I'm reminded of the old adage, who polices the police?
Yeah, who watches the watchers? That's what I was always saying.
Watches the watchers. Yes.
Watches the watchers.
You know, if they can do whatever they want, if they can say, and I haven't had any problems. When they first started monetization, I just said no, and I've never been deleted. But then again, that's maybe I have too many videos that I wouldn't even notice. But it is I don't know. It's a paradigm shift that most of the hoi polloi are willing to accept. That, and it's not even really a shift, it's more of a lane change. That, hey, I'm a big company. Hey, I make the rules. The consumer has no power. And most people are like, well, okay, unless they go complain to management, blah, 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 blah. And this is usually at Burger King or Walmart or wherever the small venue would be. And then they get a pat on the back and a nickel back, and then they're consoled. But on the overall large front, those people making large footholds into truth or trying to make a dent in the societal norm are, you know, kicked and shoved out of the way. And then people were like, well, I guess they did something wrong. And they're questioned. It's insanity.
So they did something wrong. I mean, where and how is the definition of wrong? Where is that coming from? You know, who comes up with, you know, the morals we should all be living by? You know, it certainly doesn't need to be a company.
That is, and Louis, I think you've hit on a big point about programming, and I can bring it back to one moment in my childhood where I was sent to the principal's office. Now, I hadn't done anything wrong, but my mother had some sort of a appointment that she was going to be running late for, so she had to pick me up 30 minutes early from school. But I was sent to the principal's office to wait for her. Well, as I was being told, you know, Mr. Hart, you need to go to the principal's office, every single one of those children said, ooh. And I was immediately scorned. Like, you are not normal. You don't belong here. You know, like the little kid who couldn't bounce the ball right in, that book. What's the name of it? Somebody help me. Very famous book.
Wait, what? What's the context?
That couldn't bounce the ball right. The only thing that comes to my mind is A Wrinkle in Time.
A Wrinkle in Time.
A Wrinkle in Time, yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, there's every house on the block was the same, and all the children were bouncing their balls in the front yard playing in unison, except for one little boy who couldn't do it, and he was yanked inside very quickly.
Yeah, that book blew my mind when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. I think it's programming. I think we're programmed to think everything outside the norm is wrong, instead of, they could be the one who's telling me the truth. That's just for a personal aspect.
Sure.
Sorry, guys, I'm engaging the chat room.
Uh-oh.
Or ignoring every worthless thing you fuckers have said in the last 10 minutes. I'm just kidding. Oh my god, I'm such an asshole right now. I apologize.
I don't know why.
In the final hour.
I don't know why you had to clarify it like saying right now. I mean, you're all an asshole.
Well, that's true enough. Yeah, you would
Jesus,
know. You would know.
I mean, yeah, I spend a lot of time on the goddamn phone with you, and I'm just constantly berated. You're just a total dick.
Yep. Oh man, I wish that were true. I should be more of a dick. I'd probably be better off if I was. But the truth is I'm like pathetically even, consistent, and really fair with everyone. That's probably my weakness.
That's not a weakness.
No, it's definitely a weakness when it gets to a certain level. I mean,
it is. Louis knows. Louis knows what I'm talking about.
I mean, I'm like that too, just because I don't want to deal with anything, but you constantly find yourself getting in situations where you could be spending your time more fruitfully, or
yeah,
you know, you find yourself taken advantage of and just not giving a shit because, well, it's easier just to, you know, I mean,
yeah,
being overly nice and accommodating really fucks you up.
Sometimes it can. Sometimes there's a need to like step up to the plate and just be a dick.
No, there's definitely a time and place for sure.
And this is that time. Woo!
That time is now, right?
When you especially when you have an excuse that everybody's like, oh, he's been up too long. It's don't worry about it. Now I can just go for it. It's like
you need to be opportunistic, man.
It's like getting. The only other time you get to get away with that is when like you're really old.
I was just gonna bring that up.
Like when you're 90 and they're like, well, he's earned it.
Like you can be traditionally, there's a right when you get old to be cranky,
exactly,
and dementia.
Exactly. And when you get too tired, you can be an asshole when you're too tired.
Yeah.
So it's like I actually feel really good right now, but I'm gonna play that card because it's just fun.
It's hilarious.
I'm just having fun. Yeah. Oh man.
New perspective said no nice guys on Dick Earth.
No nice guys on Dick Earth. I love that. Oh.
Yeah, pay that.
Oh man. I'm really bummed I missed your songs, dude. Trevor, damn it.
Yeah, no, that's all right. And they actually always usually they screw up the audio on the recordings, so when you watch them back, the audio is never going to be anywhere near as good. As what you hear.
I think I caught the very first song you did. Really well done, man. Yeah. You're a talented chap.
Talented chap, and he likes to be in the.
Yeah, that's right.
He likes to live in the deep dark shadow like you, man.
I know. That was the first thing I noticed about him.
He's never quite seen.
Yeah, Lewis.
He's like there's a figure in there you can kind of make out a shape, but you don't know for sure.
So what?
Some hangouts make me turn the lights on, but yeah, Louis, I was gonna say, oh, there's my brother. Obviously, got the same amount of light.
Yeah,
that's the first thing. That's the first thing I thought when you first came on the panel.
Yeah, we must be, man. We're brothers.
Yeah. I never make anyone turn the lights on, man.
I was telling Ty about Marcel Milner. I had the same feeling when I first met him on a hangout too. Straight away, you're my brother. He's from Holland. Never met him before, but he's a landscaper and musician. I was just telling Ty, like easy 2,000 an hour if he wanted, but he doesn't want anything to do with the industry. He just wants to play nice music for people.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Damn, it's good stuff.
Hey, Ty, I was gonna ask you.
Yep.
A little closer to 8. That you ended up bringing it up not too long ago, but you said that you think you possibly are getting more out of this than anybody else probably listening or participating. What do you think you've gained or gleaned from it, from doing this so far? I mean, you have an hour left about.
No, actually, I started this at 7, dude. Just 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's
in game. But at this point, I almost feel like just keep it rolling at this point. But yeah, 7 a.m. is 24.
You should change. Keep it going until you just collapse. Let's see how long.
Yeah, this wasn't hard enough. We got to keep pushing.
Send your girlfriend for some more beer.
Yeah. Damn, I drink a lot of beer. Shit.
You guys only have an hour
left. Up in Chico too, huh?
Aren't
there a lot of breweries up there?
I'm drinking Sierra Nevada. Yeah, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, which is they started here in Chico, and they're big. They're international now, as far as I know. Yeah,
they're not so micro anymore.
And their beer is like it's like 6+% alcohol. You know, their objective is to fuck you up. Like that's
their objective is to fuck you up.
there's no other purpose for a beer that's so strong. You know, it just wants to mess you up. Like that's its
true.
only objective.
You can buy that here, but they have to call it an import from the Indiana law.
Yeah, where Louis lives, it's like you can't even sell normal Sierra Nevada. It has to be like some kind of special
some
kind that's like only 2% alcohol.
Or like it has to be like up to 4%. I think some states it's like they cap it at 4%.
Like we can get Sierra anything more than 3.2, we have to go to the whiskey store or the liquor store.
Wow, 3.2.
Fucking pansies.
Yeah,
that's Oklahoma too.
But you can't buy anything more than 3.2, like even at restaurants.
Hey, that's what happens in a state where men can have more than one wife. I guess I don't know. Fucking lame, dude. What is that?
Hey, while we're
is that like a counterbalance? Well, you can have multiple wives, but your beer is gonna suck. Is that like?
Since you're talking about that, let's see how many more, misinformed cliches we can bring up.
I would think that a man with multiple wives would need the stronger beer.
Oh, that's a good point, Karen. Damn, you're on it. That's absolutely accurate.
I know if I had to have multiple husbands, I might drink myself into a drunken stupor every day.
Ooh, man.
Wait, multiple. I just don't get it. I mean, multiple.
Multiple.
That's backwards.
That's how I'm one.
Maybe at a certain point, if you keep adding, it just kind of peters out and like balances, and it's easy to manage.
Somehow it becomes okay.
Yeah, there might be a magic number. I don't know. Ask the new mayor of what was it? The new mayor of what is that? The first polygamous mayor of Hilldale?
Hilldale.
Yeah. Yeah. The first polygamist just got elected mayor in
But you guys know, you guys do know that like Mormons aren't polygamists anymore, right?
No, but it still goes on, obviously.
But there are polygamists, and I don't really care if people are polygamists. Like, who gives a shit what people do? If that's what they want to do, I really don't care.
I just want to make sure, because a lot of people, they hear Utah and they're like, oh my God, these polygamists and everything.
Yeah, and then they picture like a bunch of like 50-year-old men marrying a bunch of 12-year-old girls.
Yeah, which isn't the case at all.
Except except back when it started.
Sure, yeah.
It was the case then.
Which, by the way, I'm.
When it was the
I'm
Beehive and like.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny to hear people's initial take on Utah. Like all these polygamists, these are break-off factions that the Mormon Church is completely disowned.
Right.
So we do have polygamous communities dotting the valley and everything, which it's kind of interesting. But yeah, Utah ain't so bad.
No,
pretty
it's
cool
actually
place.
really cool.
No, it's actually really cool.
Really artistic.
I've been to Utah.
It's beautiful.
To Salt Lake.
Yeah, who's Park City?
Park City.
Somebody's echoing.
Yeah, somebody's.
Oh, Park City.
Yeah, somebody's.
I hit mute.
Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2.
It's Louis.
Louis, you bastard.
Yes,
it's me.
Yes.
Your little green lights go.
Still on. It's still echoing.
Testing.
Mute your mic for a sec.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay, so he put himself on mute.
And we're all good.
I actually have a pretty good friend in Salt Lake who's an artist, and he has some woman friends.
Woman friends.
But,
where are you going with that?
Well, they're black. and they used to not be humans until the 70s, and so now they're humans. They can be.
Wait, they're black?
Yeah.
They don't live here in Utah. I never see a black person.
Oh man, this is
just kidding.
It's a couple.
It is
haunted house.
It is rather unbearable.
Yeah.
What's up,
well,
haunted?
hey Louis, for your information, I live in White County, Indiana, and that is literally they had to take the signs down in the 80s, I think it was, that said "Keep White County white."
Wow.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Paulie, I was born in Indiana.
Are you a northerner or southerner?
Mishawaka.
I've been to Mishawaka. Actually, my wife and I vacationed up near Shipshawana, like 2 or 3 months ago, at a primitive cabin.
Yeah, just out of South Bend.
I used to live.
But yeah, that's interesting. I've always wanted to visit Indiana as an adult.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
I love like the topography of Indiana and the Midwest. Yeah, I love it. I think there's something magical about like that, the small towns and the flatness. I don't know. It's always a place where I've wanted to retire and write a novel.
I think being raised in Wichita, Kansas for 11 years of my childhood did something to my brain to where I can't see anything but nature when I walk outside, because all you have in Kansas is like the sky and that's it. So I walk outside, I'm like, oh, look at the trees, and people are like, what trees? Look at those buildings. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess there's buildings too. Yeah, I think it does, and I think Ty was talking about it a couple hours ago about being raised in the woods, like Mowgli. It really changes your mindset. Your formulative.
If this goes on long enough, it'll be like, and when Ty was talking about being raised by wolves in the den.
Am I exaggerating a little bit? I think it's my perchance as a writer.
He grew up in the woods.
Okay, you know what? Google the town that you said that you grew up in. There's no actual town. It's a woodland area inside of a national park. So there.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. But I did, there were walls. I had like a shelter, and there was like a fireplace.
Yeah.
There was like
there was no town.
Civilization.
There was no town. There was a township. Sure.
Yeah.
You had 3 streets. You had 1 stoplight.
You're right.
Yeah, that's
right.
Kind of like the place I live now. I live in the middle of nowhere. The town is.
I'm happy.
I'm
happy I grew up there, man. I mean, I'm really happy.
I live in New Jersey. I live in New Jersey, and we're all troglodytes. Mongoloids.
What's up, Haunted Man? How you doing?
What's up, Ty?
I'm glad you finally dropped in, man.
Yeah,
what the hell took so long? What have you been doing?
Took me 20 hours to get here.
Yeah, what could have been more important? Shit. You have like a life or something?
I know, right?
Shit.
I know. I got to get rid of this thing.
Terrible.
Totally have to.
Right on.
Well, you guys, what are I tuned in before, and you guys were talking about religion. You're talking about the Bible.
Yeah, that came up a couple times.
America.
This Paulie guy brought it up a few times.
Paulie, are you a Fugazi fan?
I used to be a Sharpie, so I had the red suspenders and the X on my hand, and I wrote for a zine, and I was into Fugazi, Minor Threat. Yeah, pretty much a stereotype of craziness.
That's cool. I had a lot of punk friends growing up.
You've made me want to. I want to hear Fugazi Waiting Room so bad right now because of you, Haunted House. You're an asshole. Oh, I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it. I'm gonna fucking play it because I have the power to play it. I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna
Play it.
I'm
Awesome.
gonna override all you assholes.
Is it overriding if we agree?
No, disagree. So I feel like I have power.
All right,
Come
don't do it.
on.
Don't do it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
Hey,
gonna
look-
do it.
That's the
Screw
Dude,
you.
say-
same shit I do and get copy struck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good music.
Keep talking though, because it's gonna take me a second. Be entertaining. Do it.
Fugazi made me nervous when I was little. You know, I was younger,
Because of the power?
like in high school. Who are these guys, Fugazi? You know,
Yeah.
Ian McKay, Rollins too, Black Flag. I got into Rollins back in high school. I was listening to the Rollins band, and then I had a friend who was a punk enthusiast. He was a drummer. He taught me how to play drums, sort of. He corrected me, in other words.
I used to love listening to the Rollins Black Flag era.
Yeah, I like them both.
I used to listen to Who's Got the 10.5 all the time.
10-inch. Yeah,
Play punk.
That was their live album.
yeah. I had Slip It In. I thought that was funny to have like the album cover with the nun on it. Oh, humor. Oh, high school humor. Yeah, I saw Ron, met Rollins a couple times. He's not as big as he comes across, like physically.
No, he's
a little
not
bit
that
shorter.
tall. No.
I think his real name's Henry Garfield.
That's such a dorky name.
Garfield.
I think that's his real name, yeah.
I love it.
I met him in not UMass. It was Northampton, Massachusetts. Rollins band was playing they were on the Wait tour.
What year was that?
And it was at 95.
Wow.
Yeah, I
forgot what
saw them play back then too. They were like touring with like Helmet.
Mm-hmm. Clutch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Clutch, another great band. What a way with words that guy has. Neil Fallon, the lead singer. He's another guy. I met him. He's really nice. All these people are so, I want to say, not really opposed or opposite to who they are.
I got to meet.
I guess he was on a mobile.
Oh, did he just
he's
drop?
gone.
Yeah, he just dropped out.
Bye, Hanan.
I got to meet Morris.
Dude, that was happening to Issa. Like, he was like playing music, and I was getting really into it, and he just dropped. And it's happened. Like, it's happened like 4 times in a row, and I'm just like,
that's the pain in the ass about Hangouts. If you're on a mobile, sometimes it just drops all the mobiles randomly.
Yep.
What is that?
I don't know. Lame shit.
How can
Google
that
being
be
a prick.
useful? And why? And why? Where the hell is Haunted hanging out that he can't just be on a computer?
Where does he live?
He said he's in Jersey.
Just get on your computer, you lazy dickhole. What are you, like, on the couch and you're like, I just gotta use my mobile, or what?
Where did you go, man?
You know what's funny is you said
were not
dickhole and then a little icon pops up.
We were not talking about you at all. Never happened.
What's that? Did I get bumped?
I will.
Ty was talking about you.
I will deny it to my grave.
He said you're a lazy dickhole.
Dickhole.
Just get off your mobile and get on the computer, you bastard.
I don't have my computer with me.
Where are you?
I wish I did. I love.
Are you in a park? Are you homeless?
I'm at work.
Oh, you're at work.
No, I'm at work.
Oh,
but nobody's
shit.
here. So
well, I take that all back. You actually get points for that. You're at work on a stream. Damn.
Why is nobody there at 9?
A good question. We're not starting up yet. Nothing really to do today.
Wow, that's weird.
Are you guys? I'm
Did it all
gonna,
yesterday.
I'm gonna play Fugazi Waiting Room right now.
It's on mute.
I'm gonna do it.
It's on mute.
It's off. It's off. I got it. Thank you. Here we go.
You'll probably get. Okay.
Ah!
Are you still trying to play that song?
It's playing.
I don't hear it.
We have no sound time.
Is it only for the watch page?
Yes.
Oh.
That's bunk, dude.
Shut up. You're ruining it. I'm starting over because you fuckers ruined it.
I thought you were playing it for yourself.
Well, I am.
Like, yeah,
I guess in a way I
am.
I'm playing it for me and the people watching. And for the rest of you, it's on like a 15-second delay. And that's just the way it's going to be.
It sucks that you can't play music on these Hangouts.
Well, there's no way to use Hangouts like with OBS. The real, like, I can't really use it. I kind of fake it. So, unfortunately, there's limitations to it, you know. But okay, I'm starting this over because I just gotta hear. What is that noise? All right.
There's always a distant beeping in New Jersey. That's always a reverse alarm going off somewhere. There's always.
I guess that's romantic.
Someone's backing up.
I like it. I guess. All right, I'm gonna play this song. If you just don't say anything. It's playing. I know you guys can't hear it, but it's playing.
Let me see if I could find the watch page. Use one of the house computers. I'll wait.
Okay, I got it. I got my fill. Sorry, I just had to do that because it was. You just planted the seed, man. You can't just drop Fugazi Waiting Room and then I have to hear it, dude. Just has to happen.
You complete retard. You got to play the whole song.
I know.
Why'd you stop it? I was listening on the watch page.
Were you?
Stopped it.
Oh, were you? Well, I started to feel bad because
Did you see Polly was rocking out? You can't see me because I don't have my camera on.
Ty, stop fucking everything up.
It was mostly.
Don't press the button.
It was mostly the intro. I just had to hear the intro part. I had to hear the intro part.
You were the publisher of Flat Revival magazine.
That means I can do what I want. I'm done.
I love that song. That song is like the ultimate anthem song, man.
Oh, it just gets your juices flowing. It's like
everybody's always down because I can't get out.
Look what you've done. And there goes Haunted.
I was rocking out to it.
Haunted drops
Bully dance.
Why do I keep getting booted?
Yeah,
because you're on a mobile. Get on a computer and you won't get dropped.
Okay, I was a DJ for 17 years, man. And you have got to know that is the worst sin anybody could ever do is kill a song halfway.
Well, I feel bad because I didn't think any of you could actually hear it. I didn't think you guys were. I didn't think you guys were listening.
Hurricane.
So I felt bad.
Floods, tsunami.
I felt
Those are the
bad.
things that turn off the power. I love you, man, but that was just wrong. Dude.
It was wrong. I'll accept my sin. What's my punishment? What do I have to do? Wrong. What do I have to do?
What a brave man.
How do I make it right?
Hey, you know, Haunted Houses joined the panel.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, Trevor? Why is everybody a green thing? Like a green icon?
Where?
Because your mobile hasn't loaded.
Not for me.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
You kind of look like somebody who might be like on a mission to like assassinate someone, or like, you know, nondescript. You're like the nondescript guy A, who's like, yeah, there you go.
You need the little earpiece. If he had the earpiece, that would.
He's got the earpiece and everything.
Oh, does he?
Fucking awesome. What exactly is your job?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, don't ask. Oh, wow. Ooh. It's music. Is that music?
Music.
That's music.
Oh, right, dude.
So it's drums.
Like it's a music warehouse. What do you like deliver music components for like shows or what?
You should present.
It's backline rental.
Okay.
Music production. If I was film production, you'd be seeing a shitload of cameras,
right,
and audio equipment.
That's where I buy my strings from, because all the guitar shops suck. So there's just a place that rents out PA gear, and I go down there, and it's an old greybeard muso. He knows everything about everything.
Yeah.
So
you rent Pro Audio?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I have been to 100 different types of stores.
So, yeah, bands or production companies, they call us and we come to the gig. We give them whatever they need and set it up. They can pay to have a technician stay with the gear for the entire show. Like right now yesterday we did the tree lighting in Manhattan for NBC, which was crazy because I wasn't there, but I was asking the tech who was there, you know, what's it like at NBC right after that Matt Lauer announcement? Like this was maybe within 8 hours of that, within 8 hours of that actual public announcement about Matt Lauer being fired. So it wasn't any different, but people were still, you know, everyone was talking about it.
Wow.
Like it was nothing on the street. I expected like people on the street, like, holy shit, fuck, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Like something the Simpsons would come up with, like, oh my god, what do I do?
Oh man.
Hey,
but it's crazy.
Is it
it's crazy.
sad?
The Pervnado is taking everyone with it.
Is it sad?
Those trees out at Louis' house look really nice.
I don't know who this person is, and I had to look it up.
What person?
Matt Lauer.
Oh.
Is that sad for me?
No, it's not sad. He's a douchebag, and he's
it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He's a nobody. He's a nobody. That's someone that shouldn't be.
He's been paid to lie to us for years. It's one of those guys.
Yeah. I remember when he was in the 80s. No, not the 80s. I remember in the 90s when he was just like the side, you know, the guy off to the side.
Right.
And Matt Lauer next with the stories that are not that important. Not as important as the other lies we're telling you. You know, he was just over there.
Oh, I can't wait to get to those top tier lies. Oh, how do I get there? Fuck.
I know. I think even, you know, I'll know the tide has turned when I see my parents backing away from mainstream news. I think that'll be the turning point for me, because they still buy into it. Although I can see their faces when I go into my regular shtick about how the news are lying to us, how the media is lying to us. Usually they'll be kind of standoffish about it. They'll defend it in some way, or they'll say you're crazy. But nowadays, it's like I don't hear much. I think it's getting through to them that it's complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. I mean, not even like the cat in the tree kind of story. That's bullshit too.
What do you mean, the cat in the tree?
Like every story on every degree. You know, whether it's a big story, a national headlines, that sort of thing, or it's like, I think if it's anything that they can, if it's anything that a viewer can actually check in on and verify, they'll lie about it. They'll just make it up.
Yeah.
Like, even with, who was it? Mark Sargent was on, I don't know what it was, I think BBC the other day, talking about flat Earth. And they had an astronaut on there. And he mentioned something about losing his socks at the end. He's like, oh, the one thing about...
And the world will never know. The one thing about space is you can't run a lighting truss to film a tree. Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Oh, shit. Dude, nice hat, man. I like that.
Oh, yeah, I was cold.
Hey, Paulie.
What's up?
I was looking at your background, and I could tell you live in an old house. I love it. I love the old wood doors and the wood trim and the wood floors. I love old houses. That is so cool.
I'm gonna show the door. It's a pocket door.
Yeah.
It goes into the wall.
Yeah, pocket doors are awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed. I was like, dude, those are old pocket doors and the wood trim. What year is your house built?
This house is older than my great-grandfather.
Awesome.
Nice catch, Karen. Damn.
Well, I'm into all that stuff, but those old houses are fucking built to last, not like new houses.
Yeah. That's just apply that across the board to everything.
If you wanted to recreate one of those houses now, you'd be paying like 3-4 times a standard house.
Right. They'd be like, you want to use what? Like actual wood? What?
Right. And plaster walls, just the whole interior of the walls, like solid. No, you don't do that nowadays. They don't do it that way.
No, they don't.
Yeah, today's modern construction is garbage.
That's just like drywall. It's just a layer of drywall. They don't even go the 5/8 inch.
It's like a child. A child could literally run through your wall and be fine.
I'm sure it's happened too.
Come out the other side and be like, "What happened?" I don't know. Let me dust you off.
Hey, Haunted.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the last thing about the socks and the astronaut?
Oh, at the end, the guy was saying.
Oh my God! What did I miss?
He was saying something about one thing you need to watch out for when you're in space, as if anyone's ever going to be there, is misplacing stuff. Because if you misplace anything, it'll float off into wherever. So he said that. He said, losing your socks sucks. And the girl behind the counter pulled out a pair of socks, if I remember correctly.
You did.
He did. And was like, oh, I got mine, or something like that.
Oh,
which
God.
Obviously was an indicator that it was a scripted conversation.
Yeah, so stupid.
It's also painful, man.
But I was, what I was thinking about before when you were talking about getting out of the pot. I think that's the most important sentiment that could be expressed at this moment in time, because as a community, as a flat Earth community, nothing's ever going to happen because people can't get along, and that's fine.
Right.
But as individuals, we could empower ourselves and start sticking up for ourselves a little bit better, a little bit more thoroughly.
Yeah.
And then when each of us can do that, then it'll be a mass of people standing up, and we won't need this community idea, this collective idea. Like that's all, what's the word? That's all fluffy and nice community, and the idea of that, but it's not going to happen because it's online. It can't happen.
No, of course not.
Because if it's online, it'll stay online.
It's not real. I mean, I'm not saying there's no value. Through the course of even this stream, I've felt tremendous connection and emotion and value in what has gone on. But what is it going to translate into tomorrow? You know what I mean? It's like, so what you're talking about is like individual independence, self-sustainability.
Right. Changing how you deal with your own life.
Yeah.
Like how you stand up for what you believe in. Like actually understanding that your opinion, your point of view matters. And I think people don't get that these days. They don't think that their voice counts when it does count. They just got to think about how they perceive others, and that's exactly how people perceive them. You can't know how you sound. Like everyone always says, I hate the way I sound on record, or I hate the way I sound when I'm recorded, my voice. But what they're not getting is that no one hears it that way.
No.
And that can be used as a metaphor for pretty much anything in life. So just do it anyway. Like, get over that.
Just get over it.
Yeah. Or understand that the way you hear people, like whatever kind of relevance you consider other people to have, is most likely or probably the same relevance they hold in you.
I guess I'm curious when you reference, getting out of the pot. What does that mean to you, to get out of the pot? What does that look like? If we're in if we're in that boiling water and we're about to get boiled and we don't even know it, what is outside the pot to you? What does that look like? Oh, there he goes. Boom.
Yep. And it's funny how the timing is like perfect. Every time he drops, he'll be like blah 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 blah, and then he's like boop.
I know he was about to say something really sexy too. It was like I was really like I was ready to just like give it, and boom, gone.
I think we have a Google moderator watching. They're kicking him off on purpose.
It's just his fucking whack-ass phone connection.
No, I'm quite serious. I wouldn't put it past him.
It's the phone. It is. It's the mobile phones. They don't work for shit because the same thing happened earlier with another person that was on. It was like they just kept dropping intermittently. It's like, what good is this technology if it doesn't work?
I don't know why it does that with the mobiles sometimes.
It's like, what's the difference?
Too busy recording.
What's the difference between a mobile phone and a computer? Why doesn't the connection work as well?
This has never happened before. I've never had this. I've been on calls, and I'm in a Wi-Fi location too.
I remember doing a hangout months and months ago now, but ODD was on Candy's hangout, and he was on a mobile, and his phone kept doing it.
Yeah.
Like we were all just messing around, and then we were giving him crap at one point, and then the phone dropped, and I was like, "Oh, did he get mad at us?"
Shit,
but it was this has never happened for me. Never dropped out before.
I hope you remember what we were talking about, because I was certain you were gonna like give a really sexy answer, and I wanted to hear it.
Well, what was the last thing that you heard me say? Because I was saying that flat Earth is not a deception. The last thing I heard
you say was that I was totally awesome, and then I don't remember after that.
Well, flat Earth to me is not a deception.
No,
I think that's where
it was. I asked you, like, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
What
is getting out of the pot look like?
What is outside the pot? Like, what is outside that pot?
Fixing yourself, and do you mean like physically, like an actual
metaphorically,
visual metaphor.
If we're gonna get,
well, I think it's the same. It looks the same.
If we're in the boiling water, we're about to get cooked. What does it look like?
We jump out.
If you go out and escape it, what is escaping the pot? What does that mean to you? Like, what is that? What is it outside the pot?
Looking in the mirror. That's the first thing you encounter after you jump out of the pot. It's a big mirror, like life size, gigantic, the side of a building, kind of big. And you see your own reflection, and you realize that you mean something, and that you count, and that you are significant to this thing, and that the world is you, and you are the world, as far as you know, as far as you can perceive.
Yeah.
And now that you understand that, you can move forward and do whatever you need to do, whatever you want to do, whatever, as in anything. Because the people that get pedestalized in your life, in my life, in anybody's life, have been put there by me. I'm the one who's put them there. So I'm the one who can take them down. So once you're solid in your self-worth or perception of yourself, you've quote unquote fixed yourself. Now you can go out into the world and make changes to your own world. Because that's my view, is that this is my world, and that you guys are all bystanders in my world, as I am bystanders in your world.
Yep.
And it's not.
That's universal. It's
not
to be.
It's right. We're all here having an experience.
Right.
We're all here having an experience. Like, hey, there you are, and here I am. You having fun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Okay. See you later. That sort of thing.
That the sun is only in that position for me, from my perspective, in this moment, and wherever you are looking at it, it's not the same thing. It's a completely different thing.
Right.
It's very individualistic. This experience is absolutely individual.
Yeah, and some people will write that off as like a cold existentialist way of looking at things. Like life doesn't matter. It's totally wrong.
No,
absolutely, life matters.
To me, that's almost the opposite of what that means to me. Like, it means that every single person is, if each of us are having our own experience, it means that we're each individually equally important in whatever this is.
Exactly.
I mean, we all have equal value in this process.
And isn't it sad that people who don't understand this,
well,
just think that they're second place to everything?
There's a lot about this that is sad. There's a whole lot about this that is sad. Yeah.
People don't get that you can make changes to anything, anytime you want, whenever. Oh, but what about my job? Fuck your job. Go do it anyway. You can do it.
Right.
Will you do it? Well, that's another thing. But you can. You can be president if that means something to you tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, but you can play by their rules, and do whatever.
Yeah.
Anything is possible, physically. But as for the sun, I see it as a perpetual sunset and sunrise. Like, it's always setting to someone.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
And there he goes.
You gotta be kidding.
Man.
The timing. Well, it's like, this is the second time in this stream that I've had to deal with this, and it's like, it's the same. Like, Haunted is like, for Haunted, he's like delivering a verbal, and it's like right when it's about to hit that peak where I'm just about to get off on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was like before it was the music. It was the music where it was like right when I was about to. It's gone. I can't take it. This is torture. This is a mental torture. I'm not.
Premature lost connection.
It's no fapping.
I still think there's someone killing him.
I can't do it.
He's back.
I feel like it's the signal, the Wi-Fi signal that I'm on dropping me.
I feel like
your phone is not your phone.
I feel like it's life that hates me and wants to destroy everything I do. That might be.
Hey, I got your magazine.
It's overly dramatic. You did?
Yeah.
Nice. What'd you think?
It's great. It's great. Felt great in my hand.
Is Einstein
heavy, textured nicely.
Should we?
Nice card stock.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. It's great thing to carry around too. If you want to start the conversation.
The thing about the magazine
absolutely, because it brings it out. It brings Flat Earth into real life.
And the thing about as we move forward with the magazine, the mistake that when I first had the vision for the first issue was like, I wanted to just make something that was for flat earthers. I just want it to be for us. But what I failed to realize is that what flat earthers want more than anything is something to hand to someone who isn't a flat earther. Yeah. So the magazine has to serve that purpose. And that was I made a mistake. I didn't understand that at the outset. I couldn't possibly understand it until I did the first issue and realized my mistake. So
it took the first step.
Yeah, moving forward, the next issue is going to have that balance of like, it's going to speak to flat earthers, but it's also going to
if you're new to this column,
it's going to speak to the like newcomers who maybe haven't heard about it. So you can hand it to somebody and say, just look at this, so
there was nothing else on the shelf like Barnes and Nobles, for instance, except Skeptic magazine.
Right.
This magazine, which isn't really skeptical at all. I'm very skeptical of Skeptic magazine.
Right.
They had I got an issue with Neil deGrasse Tyson was on the cover, and it was talking about celebrity scientists.
Oh my God.
Somebody plugging something in?
No, I think we're good. We're good until the next time you drop out.
My existence explodes. But yeah, that was the only alternative magazine, really. There's a couple of fishing magazines that were made of paper, not that glossy magazine stock. But that was about it.
Yeah, there's nothing.
So
this is it.
And the skeptics will say that if this magazine does appear on the shelves at Barnes and Noble, that it'll have Budweiser ads in it or something like that. But I wouldn't care if it had Budweiser ads in it.
If Budweiser wants to pay me to be in Flat Revival magazine, I will gladly take their fucking money.
Yeah, because the message is still there.
I don't give a fuck.
There's another.
I'll even drink their beer.
This is just another view, in many views on the world in the collection of world views that people could have. This is just another one.
Yeah.
That I think is very inclusive. That once you look into it, it's how could anyone not look at this? If someone says the Earth is flat, how could you turn away from it? It's really just like a litmus test for people who are boring.
From it, but only for so long.
What was that?
At first,
say that again.
I said you can turn away from it, but only for so long. I mean, at first I turned away from it. I didn't. I don't know how many people looked at the flat Earth and looked at it right away. I didn't even look at it for a while.
I looked at it the first. Yeah, I looked at it the first time back in 2015 because I had to know. I was like, how are they making sense of this? It's like, is this a metaphor for something?
Well, I
thought it was people who were just against the world.
I didn't. But for a couple of months, I wouldn't look at it though. Because it just seems so stupid.
Yeah, I see. I wasn't I wasn't into conspiracy. What got me going was I started looking at Kubrick film and analyzing what they meant, and I got into. There was all kinds of different people who were doing deep analysis of his films, and all of a sudden for whatever reason that led me to Math Powerland comedy
Math
hour.
Powerland.
I love that guy.
That's my first contact. My first contact with Flat Earth was Math Powerland. I have to say, like, he's the one. When I watched that comedy show, the moment that he presented, like, why do you think, is this a photo or a painting? Is this real?
Yeah.
The instant
that was good.
The instant I saw it, I started laughing. It was like because I instantly recognized that I had been duped. Like, it was that quick. I didn't have to research all the evidence. I didn't have to prove it to myself over months. It was just like, it's so obvious that this is bullshit. I don't know why. It's just that it swept over me like that quickly. And, whatever Math Powerland's doing now, I don't care. I don't watch him anymore because it's just like he's gone off the rails. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That thing that he did, like, made me see it. That comedy show was just like, boom. It hit me hard.
Yeah, it looked like during that performance he was testing the audience a little bit, like testing the waters to see how they were going to respond to what he was saying. Like, if he himself started taking what he was saying seriously, because the crowd was kind of like, ha, yeah, ha.
Right.
Is this guy serious? Photo or painting, and then he kind of carried on with like the serious bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it just. I don't know why I didn't look after. It was like, okay, the globe was just. I instantly recognized that this ball idea was ridiculous. I'm not saying that I was a flat earther from that moment, but like, I instantly recognized that the ball was a joke from that one thing. And then
did you have that moment?
And then of course I spent months like researching and going through all the stuff like everybody. But
did you have that moment where you were like, holy shit, what does this mean?
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Like that quiet alone moment.
Dude, like, I'm still having that moment. Oh my god. That moment never stopped.
Who doesn't have that moment? Stops. That's the moment where your whole mind changes about everything. And then that's when you don't go back.
Yeah. I'm still asking myself what it means.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was saying to myself, I kept on saying to myself, the implications are staggering. That's all I can, like, by myself. Like, the implications are crazy.
You sound like.
Does anyone understand the implications of this? Am I alone? Is anyone listening? Holy shit.
Like, holy shit, it's like everything on the television. Every single thing they ever put on the television is geared towards making you believe that bullshit.
Yeah. And you had to like Santos, you had to be willing to accept that. I mean, that's the step you have to be willing to take. And I think this is the roadblock most of the time with people that you try to talk to about it or whatever. They're just not gonna. You're asking them to give up too much landscape. They're just like not willing to give up all that landscape. You know, it's too much.
Yeah. That's why I say that once people become empowered in their own world, this comes into play. Because any information is now okay. Because they're the judge. They're the judge and the jury about what gets processed and what doesn't get processed.
Right.
So this is new information. They don't have to worry about how the public's going to see them. Like, if I accept this, am I going to have any friends? It doesn't matter. I'm number one, and I'm going to decide whether this matters or not. Mm. And that's what people need to understand. If they decide what matters, they decide everything.
Yeah. In that, you know,
or else it's us looking towards like acceptance, whether or not we're going to be accepted.
Right.
Oh boy.
Whether or not we're going to be what?
Am I going to be accepted? Will I Will I ever be loved again? I don't know. Yeah.
Throw away that feeling, because that feeling just shouldn't exist in your heart.
I feel dirty.
And how can you accept others' love? It just doesn't work.
But as for the why question, like why would anyone be deceiving us? Like the first answer to that I got was
did anyone ask that question?
A lot of people ask that question.
Oh,
yeah.
Are we just talking like general? Okay.
Well, that's the one question that always pops up. Even like Karen put out a video yesterday with David Weiss on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would anyone lie to us? And the best answer I had heard was scarcity. Like, if in abundance, like there's not enough of something. If you seal their idea of where the world is and how it ends physically.
Yeah.
You know, you tell them it's just this. That's it. So.
Well, it's control. It's control.
And that works for the economy. Like in the economy, his last name's Malthus, and he was a economist from like the early 19th century, like 1910. He did like a inventory of the world. And this information I got from an interview with a guy who worked for Lockheed and like all the black projects and stuff like that. And he was talking about this guy inventorying the world. And once they had those numbers, control skyrocketed. They could tell people that there's this many that, there's that many of this, and so on. And supply and demand fits in perfectly with this idea. You know, there's only so much, like even with oil, it's the second most abundant fluid on the planet, liquid on the planet, on the plane. But to tell a child that there's no place to go, that there's no adventure left, that kills everything. It kills any, it just eliminates, it also, it eliminates any reason to give a shit. You know, you can't go exploring because, well, there's nothing left. Like imagine if we weren't told that, with that idea in mind since childhood, it would be, you know, we'd be there, we'd be outside, or at least further out. You know, the idea of other worlds was imagine that being a common thing, like a common idea, instead of just vacationing to Europe from the States or the States from Europe. But I think a lot of people just don't get it. A lot of people just haven't thought about this and haven't thought it through. Perception. Just a lot of people never considered it because it's just such given information. It's such a hardened, quote unquote, truth. Bothers to think about it, or would think to think about it. But hey, you know, finally people have woken up, and here we are. And for the people who believe in the Bible's somewhat of a flat earth book. The Flat Earth Society, which I don't think is as bad of a thing as people say it is, because they have a lot of great information on their website. Throw out the bad, throw out the speculation and all the rest.
Well, yeah, but the gravity thing for them, to me, that's a big no-no, because that they're saying that the Earth is moving, and motion, and that's one of the biggest arguments is that Earth motion cannot be detected, and they're claiming that it's moving.
I'm surprised we haven't usurped the Flat Earth Society, because they have a message board kind of thing. They have a forum.
I tag Flat Earth Society in my videos.
You guys, when I released my book, this last Flat Earth book that I did, on Facebook, they and in the real world web, they were the biggest opponents that I had. They destroyed me. I crawled into a hole and hid for about a couple of days. I literally cried from some of the comments I got from them. I'm done with those people. I just cannot. I can't even. I don't know.
What did they say?
horrible, horrible things about me and my wife and my children that I don't have, about my mind, my view on life, the Bible itself, etc., etc.
Jeez.
It was just bad. It was, I mean, I cried, physical tears. There he goes. He disappeared again. But yeah, the Flat Earth Society, information from them, and it was a good stepping stone, kind of like Math Powerland, but I won't go back to them ever. That's just my take. That's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I it's like when you want someone to be your friend on the playground, and you like the same stuff. You have the same Matchbox cars, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is going well. But then they kick you in the shin and take your stuff. Why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
They're making a claim that can't be proven. And that's, we're saying can't be proven. Like, that to me is like a major conflict of interest right there. That's a major conflict of interest, in my opinion.
Yes. Anyway, so I can't. I mean, again, they were a good stepping stone, but I've moved past that. Just not gonna get hurt again, you know. I can forgive the snake, but I'm not going to invite it in my bed.
This is coming from the forum, Paulie. You were getting all this.
Yeah, I got it, and because I used, I think I was using Discuss to log into one of their sites, and then also on Facebook. I got some emails and some visits, and they poked around a couple of ways and got a couple of my things banned from Facebook and got me a 60-day suspension from sharing and commenting in groups. So it was just bad, man. Anyway, so
wow,
I know, right? And it was like only 4 or 5 guys, but still.
I think there's enough of us to take over, in a way, this Flat Earth Society, like in the forums that matter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to leave the front-running stuff to Nathan Thompson and people like that. I'm just going to sit back here and background and create publications.
God almighty. Wish he would go away. Nathan Thompson. Like, he was the guy who made that video of, he was like attacking some dude in Starbucks. How does anyone know someone's a Starbucks? He's like, this guy works for NASA. He's an astronaut or something like that.
Well, he said the dude was wearing a jacket and he asked him about it. Yeah. And then he talked to him about it before he started recording, and then he started recording him, and then he got all crazy.
Well, okay. Yeah. Nathan and I go back a little bit, and I have distanced myself from him. His name as a example of someone, you know, Jared, anybody who went to the conference, anybody who was a speaker there, I'm going to let Rob Skiba do that work, and I'm going to sit back here and write books. So.
Well, my question to that is, how many people know someone who became a flat earther because of somebody else, you know, yelling it out on the street, or someone else telling them? This is information that people need to, like, you have to be looking for it in order to really, truly get it, I think. Someone has to be there in their life. You know,
I think
people go ahead. I was going to say, that's why I say, if you're there in your life, if you're at that point where you're taking responsibility for it, and you're taking this idea and understanding this idea that you really do control it, and that no one really controls your reality except you, then you might come to this point a little bit quicker. Information can be received a lot better.
True.
My girlfriend is asleep on the couch for the second time since I started this stream. And I'm like, I don't want to, you know, I'm almost an hour past 24 hours. I don't care. This is a great panel. I want to keep it going because it's fucking fun. What am I going to do? Go to sleep? That's boring. That's really boring. I don't want to go to sleep. Just keep talking.
I thought I was the only one who said that. Sleep is boring.
Keep entertaining.
Sleep is for the dead.
Entertain me. Make it real. Wait, are you still on a mobile phone, Haunted?
Holy shit. It says that I was removed from the call, by the way.
But
when I dropped out.
Yeah,
I told you.
It says you have been removed from the call.
I keep kicking you out just for fun because I think it's hilarious. No, I don't even know how. Can I do that?
You bastard.
Wait, can I kick people out? Is that
who else is here?
Yeah, you have the power. You can turn their volume up and down and
Oh shit! Oh no!
This Louis person hasn't said anything. I don't know who that is.
He was talking earlier.
He's the editor of Flat Revival Magazine.
And make beer for you.
He's my boss's boss.
So, Haunted, are you... Oh, there he goes. Boom. Boom.
Moved.
I didn't do that.
You guys think I'm nuts?
Yeah,
Someone's doing it. I think someone's
I did not do that. I was just going to ask him a really relevant question. Like, there he
goes.
There he goes.
Right as I was saying it.
Yeah, I kicked you again just for fun. Are you a writer? Can you write?
I know how to.
He's alright.
I know how to write.
Everybody knows.
But I would love
write.
to.
Like, do you have a talent? Or can you like actually
not
write?
like other people do? Not like other people do, but I can I understand what you're saying. Like, can I collect thoughts and put them and package them?
Yeah.
Get you a beginning and a middle and an end.
Can you produce something for, say, a magazine? And
I've been thinking about that ever since I picked them. Ever since I got it in the mail, I've been thinking about that. I'm like, how can I contribute to this? Like, I'd love to.
Okay, well, there are people that are just not. They're not coming through. They're not. We've had, I don't know why, but people just aren't coming through with their content. Like, it's just not happening. So, okay, I want to clean the slate. Let's get people who they're passionate and want to say something. Do you have something to say?
Hey, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, you can make a suggestion.
If we have his permission, why don't we just use this this video and transcribe it and treat it like an interview with you and him talking back and forth?
I think he can write something of actual merit.
Oh, I'm just saying.
I think that he has. I think he has the ability to. I've had conversations with Haunted. I've been on your channel.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot to say, man. Like, if you can organize those thoughts into a structure, I mean, we can sculpt it a little. We can help you make it better, but like, please submit to the magazine. This is the thing that we're lacking, is like, people are not submitting content to this publication.
Have you been a magazine reader, like an avid magazine reader, your whole life? Because I have been, ever since I was a kid. But you yourself, were you, like, when you were, I don't know, 5, 6 years old? Did your parents get you magazines?
No. Definitely not.
Okay.
No.
I remember having car magazines when I was a kid.
What is a car magazine?
I had horse magazines.
No, automobile magazine, car magazine.
I had horse magazines
about cars. Oh my.
Yeah, like Motor Trend, Car and Driver, that sort of thing.
No, that would.
Popular Mechanics.
No.
You had horse magazine, Karen? You had horse magazine. You had like
horses, and then later I used to have car magazines too, though. But yeah.
That's crazy. What is a horse magazine called?
Horse Illustrated.
Horse and Hound.
And wow, that's
awesome.
And also Horse and Rider. Horse and Rider's a good one.
Horse Rider, Horse Magazine.
I love that because you know it really solidifies the importance.
They pushed the boundary on like their titles.
Well, it's just about horses and riding horses and taking care of horses, and
it's very like literal. It's very straightforward.
Yeah,
no subtext here. It's like horses 101.
Well, you know, I was one of those girls that was obsessed with horses, and I used to ride horses all the time, and so I read about horses. I drew horses.
I had horses growing up.
Yeah, horses are actually really amazing. They are amazing.
Yeah,
My father loved horses. He loves horses. Loves paintings and like he has all these like jade figurines and stuff of horses. So growing up, I always had stuff.
Do you think Do you think there's a symbiotic, like, do the horses feel a benefit? Like being...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. People always say, they say dogs are man's best friend, right? And they are, but horses too. I mean, horses are like big dogs. I mean, civilization was basically built on the back of horses.
But
I mean, we didn't get anywhere.
Should they be allowed to just be horses, or...
Yes. We brought them here. Yes.
Well, they existed before, like
there's a wild population of horses. Yes. I say leave the wild population alone, but then also there's domestic horses. I mean, and horses they do like to work. They like to have a purpose. You know, if you give a horse, especially a smart horse.
What are you basing that on?
Off of experience with horses?
Yeah, I've worked with horses.
No, I get that.
I was wrangler at 17, and they want to. They're like dogs. She's right. They seek to serve a purpose. They seek to serve something or someone. So when you have a horse who's working, it's a happy horse. You know, they want to do something or want to just hang out with friends. I think the Mustang,
and you feed them and you groom them and you take care of them.
Yeah,
and they love it.
They love it. They love you and they love each other. They're very, very follow-oriented group of animals.
Okay. Are they pack animals, Karen?
Yes.
Are they pack-oriented?
Well,
they are. Okay.
Herd. They're
herd.
Called
okay.
Yes.
Because I had a dog. I got a dog a couple of years ago.
You know, they have an alpha male, alpha female, all that stuff. Yeah.
So how are you related to their group? Like, what do they see you as? Like an alpha leader kind of thing?
You have to be the alpha around. It's just like with the dog. You have to be the boss, right? Yeah. Well, you have to be the same. You have to be the boss with a horse too. I mean, it's a big animal.
Yeah.
You know, they can hurt you. They can kill you.
Yeah, people... I've been stressing that to my girlfriend. She doesn't get like the leadership idea.
That horses can kill you, or...
I mean, they're not like viciously, but I mean, just if you don't know what you're doing and you're not, aware, things can happen. Yeah, they spook, they get scared, they take off running, you can fall off. I mean, not like they're gonna attack you and kill you, but just accidents happen. That's what I mean when I say, you can
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because they're limited sight? Like the way horses' eyes are, they don't really see the way other animals see.
I guess they're a prey animal, I guess. So they always have to be aware of things trying to get them. So like if you're out riding and they smell like a mountain lion or something like that, they'll get freaked out. Or some horses, if you're out riding and they smell like a dead animal, they'll get freaked out because they smell death. It just depends on the horse.
You ever see the movie Equus?
I guess not.
It's from the 70s. It's a great movie. It was made into a play with Daniel, the Harry Potter guy.
Oh yeah.
And it was a pretty successful play.
Can you
spell the movie is cool. Equus.
Okay.
Equus, that's just Latin name for horse.
Yeah, I forgot who directed it, but it's about a boy who I think he has some issues, like parent issues. If I remember correctly, he gets along with his parents very well. and he bonds with the horse. Find him in the stable, naked, with the horse, not doing anything sexual with it, but just being with the horse, being around the horse, and he develops his bond with this horse, and that's pretty much what the movie's about. Between man and the horse. But it's a good movie.
I find it funny that you felt you had to say that there wasn't anything sexual going on.
You have to qualify that part. Well, I guess.
Yeah, these days
there was nudity.
Like I didn't even think that there was. I was just like, yeah, you bonded with the horse. I've done that. It's cool.
Obviously,
in the play, it required.
They were doing it.
The play required a lot of nudity, which was one of the things about Ty's sleep deprived, drunk.
Yep, drunk, sleep deprived. That's why this is fun.
But in the play, there was a lot of not scandal, but there was a lot of news about the male frontal nudity because of Daniel.
Oh my God! Like there's a
what's
penis.
his face? Radcliffe.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he's got there's a lot of. I would say 10% of the play is him naked in the stable. I don't, however they simulated a horse being there. I don't know what they did in the play.
Right.
But that was like a big deal when it came on a couple years ago.
Yeah.
The movie's a great movie though. It's from the 70s. Forgot the guy who was in it.
How could it be Radcliffe in the 70s?
No, he was in the play, the revival.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And the movie, I don't know who directed the movie.
I see. All right.
But I've been trying to stress the same thing. It's like dogs don't. You can tell when a dog doesn't respect you, and when a dog doesn't respect their owner, it's because you're not being the leader. You're not being the alpha. So they really don't have any reason to respect you.
Right.
Until you give them a reason, provide them a reason. I kind of use that with like life itself to give people a reason to respect you. That sort of thing. What's that? If we're not giving someone a reason to respect us, we shouldn't really expect anything in return.
Right.
But I think we need to be providing people with a reason to respect them. Believe in something, believe in yourself.
There was the whole point for the conversation right there. To give people a reason to respect us.
And it's funny, my dog picks up on that. If I feel lost or vacant in some way, he notices. He just looks at me in a certain way. I don't know how they sense this, but they do. They have like that 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th sense for these things.
Yeah, that's because that's how animals communicate. They communicate telepathically.
Yeah.
With each other and interspecially.
And she doesn't show her other dog. Like she shows affection, but there's nothing. Affection doesn't do it. It's like you think you're doing the right thing, but that's not the way that species works. They need direction. They need a reason, and they don't have. It's not a pride thing with them.
Damn, man.
Pop. Yeah, it's really fun, man. Who else is here? Let's see.
Sorry.
Louis.
The other guy. Louis and Polly, but they're being quiet. Polly's gone.
Non-existent Polly. I don't know what Polly said. I'd like to imagine.
His chair is empty. It's like when you're gone, your chair's empty.
Yeah.
He probably went in the other room.
Probably.
Just to finish off that point, and then I'll get going. When I was on Bro Sanchez's Hangout, I noticed he had all these followers in the chat that were like sworn to him in this weird way. Like whatever he had said was fact. It was fact. It was the truth. And he was talking about how he was talking and speaking the truth. Meanwhile, everything he was saying was like, it sounded, some of it was really speculative. Got an echo on there.
Yeah.
But I noticed that there was a backlash. Like everyone was like, you know, fuck you, you know, get out of here, boot him. If I said anything that he was talking about for the brief 2 minutes that I was on there. And he had 400 people listening. And maybe there were 400 flat earthers following him, not being their own leader. It's like, Jesus Christ, use some discernment. It's like you could be interested in someone, but don't be such a follower.
Anybody here? Besides...
Hey guys, I need to go ahead and sign off for the day.
Yep.
So it's been wonderful talking to you, everybody.
All right. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Thanks, Polly. I really enjoyed, man. It's cool stuff.
Well, you're the man, dog.
Well, I did my best.
Yeah, you do. Keep doing it, man. I'm one of your fans, so if you ever need anybody to talk to about your woes, go ahead and call me up.
All right. Look for my call in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, hey guys, hi, keep it going, buddy. Keep it rocking.
Hey,
thanks for having me on. How much longer are you keeping this on for?
Oh shit, dude, I'm already. This is 25 hours. I'm way past.
Holy shit!
I'm way past due.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
Later, Paul.
Yeah, see you later, Paulie. Yeah, I gotta get to work, but yeah, it was good talking to you guys. I'll be listening. Karen,
all right,
nice
dude.
to finally talk to you.
Let's
You too.
Let's hang out again soon, Haunted Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Peace out.
Later.
It was Haunted Man with the echo. It was his fault. Bastard. He kept dropping and echoing. High prices pay.
So
far
past 24 hours, man.
Yeah. Way past.
Nice.
No problem.
Super successful.
Yeah. I think it went well. Karen, you were there. You listened to some of it. What did you think?
I thought it was great.
Cool.
Every time I came on here, there was something good happening, I thought, so.
Nice.
I thought it went well.
I felt good about it, yeah. I felt like there was
like everybody was enjoying themselves.
What more can you ask for, really? I mean, people were having a good time. We had, dropped into heavy discussion, but we also laughed and, it went all over the map.
Awesome.
So.
Success.
Yes. Success. I think I'm gonna probably eat something. Maybe would be good. I'm like, I look at my desk and it's just like beer cans everywhere.
Beer cans. What sucks about?
Why aren't you building a pyramid?
I know. I should have been. Oh man.
What sucks about staying up this late or for this long is you're gonna get so tired you won't be able to fall asleep for a long time.
I know. No, I'm screwed. I'm probably gonna try to write for the next 6 hours. And it's all gonna be shit, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Did you end up doing any writing at all?
No. There was no time for that, man. These people were I had people talking and engaging the whole time.
It's pretty crazy.
Which is awesome. I didn't expect that. I thought there were going to be hours of time where I was just by myself, oh, I don't know what to do. I guess I'll just hang out and make noises and But that didn't happen. There were people here the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either.
It was actually.
I thought it was going to be a real challenge for you.
Yeah, it was actually really beautiful. I'm almost like. I feel like humbled by it, to be honest.
Right.
Like it just the way that people rallied and made sure that I wasn't gonna. There was no point in this process that I was gonna be alone. They weren't gonna let it happen.
Right.
It's like, oh my god! I don't know. It kind of actually makes me feel really good.
Nice.
Support your local flat earther.
There you go. And I really enjoyed having you on here at the final stretch, Karen. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for giving me the invite.
Yeah. Do you have a channel? Yeah. I mean, do you post vids and?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I think we should definitely do like have a discussion. I think it could be good if we, have a more like concentrated discussion.
Yeah.
Just I think it'd be really cool.
Me too.
Without like haunted dropping every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thank you for being on. I appreciate it.
Well, are you ending it now?
I'm gonna end it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna talk to Louie here for a second, but yeah, after that, I'm gonna call it quits.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Do my adulting for the day.
Do your adulting. I like that. Adulting. Very nice. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Right. Dude. Mission accomplished.
Nice job.
Yeah.
I think far beyond expectations.
It was like it wasn't anything like I expected it to be, I guess, which is both it's awesome and like I don't know. I think I can't process it because I'm not in a state of mind where I can process what it was.
I mean,
I just know it was good, and I feel oddly like sentimental and warm and fuzzy about it, which is contrary to my nature, I guess. And it's really cool, actually. I'm impressed.
Yeah, it turned out quite well. It's gonna the magazine, like I think a lot of people that didn't know about it now do.
Yeah. I think that happened for sure. All right, I think I'm about ready to hit that. I'm gonna hit that stop button, dude. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. Damn, it's 25 hours and 15 minutes. Peace out.